A good first impression. Put your best foot forward. Start off strong. Orioles did it all. Chris Tillman, an outstanding start. 3 long balls in the ball game, the opener for the Orioles. Defense, absolutely solid all the way around. And when they needed a big play, they got one. Just keep coming. Looked like he was out. Pearce was safe. Orioles get a W. Game 2. Buck Showalter's Club 1-0. The Orioles on Masson and inside for Game 2 here at the Trop as the Orioles take on the Rays, second of this opening 3-game set for the 2015 baseball season. There are a lot of Oriole fans on hand. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne, and welcome for the Orioles last night. It was a very positive ball game. For an opener to have as few mistakes as the Orioles made, and I'm not sure there was one, it really is a tribute to the preparation put in by Buck Showalter to get them ready. Take a look at some of the plays that were made last night that mattered in the ball game. First inning, Jaso. He gets picked off at second. Flaherty, a great block. Jaso injured his wrist. He's going to be out for a couple of days. In the 4th inning, Souza, he made a big turn at first and a single, ends up in a 2-4-3-6 tag out. That was a leadoff single that's eliminated. 5th inning, Loney thrown out at the plate. This is the 3rd out of the inning. Snyder, the beginning of a great ball game in right field. Caleb Joseph putting on the tag. In the 6th inning, Snyder's back again. Another great defensive play. That's against Kiermaier. It was a leadoff single that was denied. And then Snyder, 8th inning, a double. Pearce scores on the play. Looked like he was out. Video review. He was in. Tag put on too late. That was a 5-1 lead, and the Orioles got the victory. It all went right, Jim, last night for the Orioles.
Well, it really did. And then meanwhile, Chris Tillman, maybe not at his best, but certainly better than Chris Archer, very talented young right-hander for the Rays, who made a throwing mistake, threw a couple of home runs, and of course, again, it's typical Orioles. They hit 3 home runs. They led the major leagues in home runs last year. They didn't even have Chris Davis, who obviously that's a big day for him because he's coming back. He's going to be active tonight here in Tampa, or actually St. Petersburg at the Trop.
And we are looking forward to it. We are. We're still here, Jim. It's okay. Yeah. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk to Chris Davis about what it was like last night while he watched that ball game as he served the final game of his suspension. Chris Davis. Southwest Airlines. Book your low fares now at southwest.com. And by visitannapolis.org. Find the Chesapeake experience at visitannapolis.org. Very warm day here in the St. Pete, Tampa area. Beautiful, sunny, early summer day. There is Chris Davis. Which Chris Davis will we see this season as he makes his debut tonight? A couple of seasons ago, 2014, the numbers 196, 26 homers, 72 RBIs, low average, pretty good output though. 2013, that unbelievable year, big average, home runs and RBIs. Chris now will try and find out for himself which year it's going to be this year. Talked with him before the game. How tough was it watching last night?
It was tough. I was already excited for opening day, coming from Sarasota, getting to Tampa and going through the workout and just kind of feeling the emotions of another opening day, another season. And then obviously last night, after the guys came up with a win and everybody's hitting homers and having a good time, I didn't get much sleep, but I'm ready to be here and I'm excited to get it started.
Anticipation for you for tonight?
There's a little bit. I mean, I think, I expect a lot of things this year. I think things are going to go a lot differently than they did last year. Mentally and physically, I just, wasn't where I needed to be last year. And I think that I've done what I needed to do in the offseason and spring training to prepare myself, and I'm excited to get it started.
Chris, it's a big year for you. I mean, we play the game, but we all know this is a big business, and for you to have a big year could be very meaningful for you in the long term, yes?
It's true. It's true. I think that, you look at the body of the work the last few years, and was able to have 2 good years back-to-back in 2012 and 2013, and, went downhill last year a little bit, but set myself up nicely for a rebound year. And I think the biggest thing for me is to stay healthy, stay out on the field, and give myself a chance to play 161 games.
Comments you've made here this spring, it sounds like you've put some expectations on yourself as far as what you want to see for numbers.
Oh, there's no doubt. I go into every season with certain expectations, and, the biggest thing for me, like I said, this year is staying healthy. I think really the oblique last year early on in the season kind of zapped me of the power that I've had in the past and limited my ability to hit the ball, not only to left field but to drive the ball to right center. And, I've got to do a few different things this year with the shift and things that I've worked on this offseason. But, I expect to be in there every day and to be a productive player.
Is it more bunts? Is it trying to go the other way? Is it a combination against the shift?
I think it's a combination of both. I think there are times during the game that the situation dictates for me to lay down a bunt. I think there are other times when I can swing away, but maybe I get a pitch that I can really drive the other way. And I think it's just playing the game. In the past you get caught up so much in seeing a shift, and as a competitor you want to hit it through the shift or over the shift, but I think sometimes you have to play the game smart and kind of give what they take you.
Can you put a period on the 25-game suspension by a quick look back to end it here coming out tonight, what it's meant, what you've thought about? I mean, just where are you?
I've definitely put it behind me. I think that I had plenty of time in the offseason to work on things I needed to work on to get ready, and really time to reflect and put what happened in the past and leave it there. And I think the biggest thing for me moving forward is just learn from that situation and never go back there again.
Ball club, I thought last night looked like midseason. I mean, they didn't make many mistakes last night.
That's the name of the game, especially for us. If we can limit our mistakes and really play a good, clean baseball game, I think we're going to give ourselves a chance to win every game, and you saw that yesterday.
Chris, congratulations on returning, and have a great season.
Thank you very much.
Well, a chance for redemption because obviously, what went on, not only the average dropping and the RBIs and the home runs, again, fans, you got to the most important part of the year. He wasn't able to be part of it. That all changes tonight. I guess the only thing, I really think the shift has some, because you look at, he strikes out, 1 out of every 3 times. But over the course of his career, a lot of strikeouts, a lot of home runs, he still, when he puts the ball in play, he hit 320. Last year, it was 248. So maybe the shift did affect not only the way he got his base hits, but the mental part of the game.
So he goes after that in this one. Let's take a look at the starting lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Diaz, Pearce, and Snyder, Jones, Davis, and Machado, Flaherty, Joseph, and Cabrera, Travis, Snyder. What a start for the Orioles.
And our scouting report on Nathan Carnes, 27-year-old right-handers. They got him out of the Washington Nationals organization with all the injuries. 3 of their starters down. Seize a moment. Take advantage of it because, again, in the past, it's just been his inconsistency, not about the stuff. Loves his curveball. 29% of the time last year when he did get his 2 starts, he threw the hook, and it's a good one. And then in his 24 Major League innings, he has thrown 8 home runs. Now, that didn't happen this spring. He did face the Orioles a couple of times, 2 and then 4 no-hit innings. So the Orioles know about him. He knows a little bit about them because one of those games was in Sarasota against the regular lineup. So again, it's just a matter at 27, can he calm down and can he be consistent, because this stuff is there.
Well, we will see. He is from Pennsylvania, now lives in Texas. There is Chris Davis, who will be the designated hitter in the lineup for the Orioles in this ball game, and Adam Jones welcoming him back in the dugout. And we are ready to go. Here is De Aza, 1 for 5, a homer, a couple of RBIs in the ball game last night for the Orioles leadoff batter. Delivery to him will be taken for a strike, and game 2 is underway. De Aza draws the third baseman. Longoria a couple of steps in, even with the bag at third. Even with that power, he's got that great speed to go with it and keeps the defense honest. Pitch will miss down low, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
Yeah, the average fastball, and again, it was only 2 starts last year for Nathan Carnes, was about 93 already, both of his fastballs, and a little bit higher than that. So he's obviously pumped up, which sometimes can be good and sometimes it can be bad.
Can you control it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Here's the 1-1 delivery on the way, and that'll miss down low. Carnes debuted against the Orioles back in 2013 when he was with the Nationals. Kevin Gosman was the opposing pitcher in that ball game. That was his major league debut. Well, here he is again against the Orioles in a rotation with the Rays. And that's up the middle and a base hit right where they were not playing. Infield was shifted around, but De Aza finds the hole. Leadoff man on.
Well, he can put the bat on the ball. I mean, yesterday the 2-run home run, that was on the 10th pitch right here. They play him to pull. You know, I kind of like the approach of Carnes. I mean, the first pitch was on the corner, and again, you can take a look right here. I mean, when they get in scoring position, obviously those are glowing numbers. I think it's like 3 for 18, but on first, which is where De Aza is, the numbers change.
And always a threat to go here, so he will have to be concerned with the Oriole base runner. Stepping in is Steve Pearce, and Pearce will take the breaking ball that'll miss down low. Steve with an outstanding night last night, 1 for 3, homer, RBI. That great play at the plate where he was out by 5 feet, except for the fact he tagged the plate before he got tagged by the catcher. One of the most unusual plays you're going to see on the replay when they went back for the review. The call got overturned. Good stop made by Rivera. Again, the shift on against the Orioles right-handed hitter in this infield. Rivera, good job last night doing these kinds of things. He can get it done.
Nothing like trying to block the curveball, bounce his way out in front. But, you know, he centered his body. Spin will usually kind of be a reverse hop.
Interesting to see how many curveball Carnes throws as a starter in this rotation this season. De Aza jumping around over there at first. There's the fastball. As we talked about, Carnes was said to have the best curveball in the organization. Now, how many times are you going to throw that? He hasn't been at the major league level to know that, or the organization to know that. And what's he going to feel comfortable with, and what's he going to be successful with?
And it is a hard pitch to throw for strikes because of the break.
3-0 count. Pearce, no green light there. Making him throw a strike. Gets one in there. And the count will go to 3-1 on Steve.
Yeah, I was reading the article of Drew Hutchinson pitched for the Blue Jays against the Yankees, and they said he was totally unpredictable. I would imagine that right here, Pearce is looking for a fastball. He's going to make him throw something other than that, and of course he has to pay attention because Alejandro, not a lot of steals last year, but certainly capable of stealing 15 to 20 bases at the right time.
And on an Orioles ball club that, at least coming out of spring, was inclined to want to probably try a little more of the base stealing this season. Pearce with a 3-ball, 1-strike count. Snyder batting third in the lineup. Runner does go. Pearce has got a base hit into left field. Jennings is up with it. De Aza makes the turn. He will stay, and so the Orioles start out against Carnes with a couple of ground ball base hits.
Yeah, Steve Pearce yesterday, the home run was on a fastball. It was about 95 from Chris Archer. And yeah, he's looking fastball, and he gets one right down the middle. And that is what happens when you're a young pitcher and you get into those hitters' counts. You can still get guys out as Jim Hickey's going to come out, and it's all about damage control. Where do we go from here to keep a very potent offense, 3 home runs, 6 runs yesterday, from mushrooming into a big inning?
Carnes was probably not going to be in that starting rotation, but for the injuries to the Tampa Bay starters, he was probably going to be at best a 5th starter or 6th starter and long man. But for Kevin Cash, the injuries forced some movement in that rotation, and that's why he is there. Not that he doesn't deserve it, but being asked to do it a little earlier than they might have otherwise if they had Alex Cobb, Drew Smiley, Matt Moore, Alex Colomb, he wouldn't be in the 5. So let's see what the Orioles can do with this. In the ball game last night, the Orioles were 2 for 6 with runners in scoring position. Snyder, the big night with that 3 for 4 and a couple of RBIs. Infield double play depth. They will play him to pull. On the infield, and he's got a base hit headed to the gap. Diazo will come around to score easily. Pearce on his way to third, and the Orioles' first 3 hitters have picked up base hits, and the Orioles have a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, they try to get him to roll over on a changeup. So fastball best pitch, curveball second best pitch, and then the changeup down the order. And it's up. And again, the one thing that I saw from Travis Snyder, we saw it yesterday when he got 3 hits. We saw it all spring that he hits the ball where it's pitched. So yes, he does pull it, but they're playing the dead pull, and he just takes a changeup, hits it back up the middle, RBI, first and third, and now you got the big boys coming up.
And a chance for a big inning. Over to third base, Pearce. Snyder at first, and here is cleanup batter tonight, Adam Jones. Adam hit third in the lineup last night, had an 0 for 3 in the ball game. Infield playing him to pull as well, not all the way around, but again, he gets that entire right side between first and second base. Most of these Oriole right-handed hitters are. 1-0 count. Carnes, a tough start for him here. Just his 6th major league start in his career. Here in the first, the Orioles getting to him with ground ball base hits. Ground ball to third. That will be foul out in front of that one. 1-1.
Yeah, Adams looking for something to get in the air. It starts in spring training when you take your first batting practice. Scott Kuhlbach come over as a hitting instructor out of the Ranger organization. Okay, man on third, look for something you can hit in the air. Number one, you get a good chance of getting an RBI, make it 2-0, and then you stay out of the double play.
1 ball, 1 strike count. Jones waiting on it, and he'll rock that one. That's going to be in the gap. That'll roll all the way on the carpet to the wall. Scoring is Pearce. Snyder waved home by Bobby Dickerson on his way to the plate. It's a double, 2 RBIs, and the Orioles on fire here in the first inning. 4 consecutive hits.
Yeah, Adam chases a curveball down in the zone, and then Carnes is supposed to be maybe his best pitch, the curveball. He hangs it. And it's one of those, if you're staying at the Vinoy Hotel here in St. Petersburg, they have pretty good room service. And here's another one of those right there. Belt high, middle of the plate. And you can see Travis Snyder's pretty good speed. A couple more runs, yeah.
Oof. Adam Jones really ripped that. Carnes is not fooling anybody. The Orioles are teeing up with a sweet spot here in these at-bats. Now the runner at second, and here is Chris Davis returning to the Orioles, added to the roster today. Goes after the first pitch, trying to drive one. He's going to be the designated hitter in this game. Buck Showalter said he'll be at first base in the ball game tomorrow. Buck counted up the days, 209 days since he's played in a major league game with the 25-game suspension. The service of that completed with the opener yesterday. 0-1 delivery on the way, and that one's going to miss. Count goes to 1-1.
Yeah, take a look at the power zone, and obviously it's kind of the inside, maybe not the inside portion, but from about, what, a third of the inside corner out over the plate. And he's hit 8 home runs here at the Trop. Batting average, because they have usually very good pitching, is about .202, but a lot of RBIs, a lot of home runs.
And a big swing and a miss on that one. Ball was really carrying here. I mean, I'm assuming, we're not here every day, that it wouldn't change very much since it's completely closed in. But it seemed as though today the balls that were put up in the air in batting practice, I mean, they were going miles.
You think
away.
it might have something that Chris Davis was hitting most of them?
Well,
I just happened to wonder who was hitting the ball over the center field fence.
1-2 delivery on the way. Check swing down to third. Longoria holds the runner, makes the play, and records the out. So there, because there was a runner at second, Longoria had to stay closer to third, and Davis is denied a hit the other way because Longoria wouldn't have been there but for the base runner.
Yeah, Nathan Carnes, I mean, he's just looking for outs. And take a look at their defense. Jennings, Kiermaier, Souza Jr., and then Longoria, Gold Glover, Cabrera, Beckham. We get to see Tim Beckham, their #1 draft choice, about 7 years ago. At second, Foresight at first, because Loney had some oblique problem, and then Rivera doing the catching again.
Loney was in the original lineup and pulled at the last minute. Payne in the right side all the way to the backstop. That'll be a wild pitch. So Carnes' tough inning continues here as he throws one way by Rivera. Had no chance on that, and moving over to third base is Adam Jones with 2 down. One away.
Yeah,
sorry.
1 away, and that's because Kevin Cash, their rookie manager, I mean, this ball just down and away, I mean, almost in the middle of the left-handed hitter's batter's box. So now one of your first major decisions, do you bring the infield in? And they're going to do that.
Infield drawn in to try and cut the run off with 1 down. Ball put up in the air, center field. That'll get another run in. Manny Machado. Here's the tag at third. Here's the throw. It'll be off the mark, and Machado gets it done. Situational hitting. RBI for Manny, his first of the year, and the Orioles have a 4-0 lead.
Well, the last 2 years, even though he's been, not at full health, he's hit over 300 runners in scoring position. So that average doesn't go up. But as we said, get the guy over. That's what you work on. Get the guy in. Less than 2 outs. Hit a fly ball. He gets a curve ball up in the zone. And all of a sudden, you got yourself a 4-0 lead. And this is something the Orioles did so well for Wei and Chen in 2014. Run support. Over 5.6 runs a game.
That'll be fouled off. Ryan Flaherty, 7th Oriole to come to the plate here in the first inning. Ryan played at shortstop in the ball game last night. He moves over to second base for the start in this game with that RBI home run picked up last night. The Orioles have 4 runs on 4 hits here in the first inning. Carnes' delivery will be put up in the air to left. Jennings will settle underneath this one and make the catch. But the Orioles come away with the 4. Snyder picks up right where he left off last night. He picks up an RBI base hit. Adam Jones gets the double in the gap. 2 RBIs there. They add 1 more. Nice to come to the mound with a 4-0 lead. It's true. 4-0. Let's take a look at the lineup for the Tampa Bay Rays. It'll be Geyer, Souza, Cabrera, Longoria, Jennings at Forsythe, Rivera. Beckham gets a start in this one, and Kiermaier. Yesterday, the long ball delivered against the Orioles by Longoria.
And our scouting report on the 29-year-old Wei and Chen. Repeat performance, 16-6 last year. A lot of wins. better command. Last year the walks went down, home runs went down, and then everybody says he's got one of those windups, nice and easy, and then the ball jumps on you. So what did he work on? There are the numbers for last year. The one number that jumps out to me is 35 walks and 185 2/3. So a lot of strikes. And again, the changeup was something that he wanted to incorporate. Now he just wants to protect a 4-0 lead.
Gets around on that one, but it'll be a foul ball as Geyer, the designated hitter, in the leadoff spot again, as Jaso was the designated hitter leading off last night. 1 for 6 lifetime off Chen for Brandon Geyer. For Chen, he went 1-1 against Tampa Bay last year. His career numbers 3 and 4 against the Rays. Ground ball, he got jammed on that one. Cabrera's up with it. Cabrera makes the play for the out.
Yeah, he scurries over to make the play. So obviously he's at shortstop as we look at the Orioles defense here at the Tropicana in St. Petersburg. Piazza, Jones, and Snyder. Snyder with a great throw to throw out Foresight at the plate. Machado, the platinum glove, gold glover. Cabrera at shortstop. Flaherty, Pearce, and then the youngster Caleb Joseph doing the catching. Second straight game for him.
And here is Steven Souza Jr. playing in right field. He had a 1 for 4 ball game last night. Player taking over right for DeJesus, whom they are counting on to have a big year. Pitch will be taken up high. Chen here in this ballpark, 1 win, 2 losses. Very good ERA here, 2.79 at the Trop. Average by the Rays against him in this ballpark, 253 in his career. That ball grounded off the end of the bat. Ryan Flaherty is there. He'll make the play.
Yeah, so there are the numbers. I mean, this is a number not only for Wei and Chen, but the Orioles starters and pitching just in general was the best in the American League after the All-Star break. He was a big part of it. So again, didn't pitch as well, but we talked about run support. Got the 4th best run support in the American League last year. A couple of Angels, Weaver, and C.J. Wilson ahead of him. And then again started pitching well. Home runs came down. He just pitched much better, and the Orioles played much better.
And was the best at being effective in pitches per inning, 16 of them, leading all of the club starters, 21st in the American League. Got a chance to have a pretty good number here. He's thrown only 5 pitches. Here's Asdrubal Cabrera, switch hitter. The 1 for 4 in the ball game last night, double in the RBI. Orioles keep it pretty even up defensively. There for his strike. Cabrera last year, 250 off lefties, 236 off right-handers for their shortstop.
Yeah, if you look at what they did at shortstop position last year, and you mentioned yesterday, Gary, last in the American League in runs with 612. And that was that they only got 33 runs from Escobar, the shortstop, Miguel Escobar, and then behind home plate. That's why they think Rivera will help them. They got like 23 runs, so that's why they were offensively challenged. Right field was a problem. That's why Souza hopefully will help them in that particular arena.
Swing and a miss, came back with a heater. Boy, Chen blew that one by him in a 1-2-3 inning. Took only 7 pitches to have the clean inning with the Orioles up 4-0. Slow roller forced an error on the pitcher on the throw, and then would come around later in that inning to score with Snyder going the other way on a base hit and an RBI. Orioles tonight, well, here's Diaz again. This time the ground ball up the middle for a base hit. Pearce gets a single. Here comes Snyder one more time. He pulls this one, and here comes Diaz across the plate again. Wow.
Well, that's what you want if you're a leadoff guy. Brady Anderson used to always say, I mean, he had 50 home runs, that what you try to do if you're leading off is how many runs you can score in the course of the games you play. And Alejandro, I just like the fact he ran out a routine roller and forced Archer to throw it over the first baseman's head.
Here's Caleb Joseph, the Orioles catcher, batting 8th. Cabrera will follow, and then Diaz at the top of the order. Caleb with the 1 for 4 in the ball game last night. Shift on again against another right-hander, and the pitch away by Carnes. Let's see how Carnes adjusts. We talk about adjustments that have to be made all the time in a ball game, where this 27-year-old right-hander had to change it up from what happened in that first inning. He will miss with that. 2-1.
Well, he got behind Diaz a single, got behind Pearce single, got behind Snyder, hung a changeup single, hung a curveball to Jones double, and then hung a curveball to Machado for a sacrifice fly. So
and comes inside, and he's falling behind again, Jim.
And you know, the one thing about Caleb Joseph, he's a good fastball hitter, worked very hard on taking the loop out of his swing with Scott Coolbaugh, who came over from the Ranger organization as the hitting instructor.
3-1 delivery to him, and he's on with a walk. And shake of the head by Carnes, so the Orioles getting to him mentally with a leadoff man on this Coolbaugh. Maryland Lottery contestant of the game, Deanna Steinbrecher from Frederick, has won $500 for being selected and $500 more for every Orioles home run hit in this ball game. Play baseball, Bucks scratch-offs. You could win up to $50,000 instantly, or enter non-winning tickets for a chance to be the Maryland Lottery contestant of the game. Find out how at mdlottery.com/baseball. Deanna, good luck. Everett Cabrera, 3 home runs for the Orioles, of course, in the ball game last night. Cabrera did not play in the game last night. In at short, in at third, creeping in is Longoria looking for a bunt, and the pitch will be taken away for a ball. The Orioles with the 3 homers last night. They've done that before on opening day. They did it in 2010, 1973, 1964, and 1930 when it was the St. Louis Browns. All those years, opening day, 3 homer games. Check swing, trying to punch that to left field a little bit. 1-1 on Cabrera.
Yeah, ideally, you'd love to get that first and third by looking for something, and Carnes struggling with the control. If you're a left-handed hitter, you'd love to be able to pull a ball into that hole. I mean, big right here, hit a little grounder. The softer you hit it, Souza with a very good arm out in right field. Maybe you get Diaz all the way to third base, or excuse me, Caleb Joseph all the way to third.
1 ball, 1 strike delivery on the way to him, and that's going to be taken. Ed Hickox is the home plate umpire, veteran working behind the plate. Paul Nort, Mike Estabrook, and Dana DeMuth, crew chief, in this umpiring crew for the first series. Joseph, not a big lead, playing it safe at first base. Carnes with a 2-1 count, again working behind a hitter. That's down low, not close, skimmed across the plate. The count goes to 3-1, and some mooing and awing already here.
Well, you know, talking to everybody, really. Talk to Jim Hickey, the pitching coach. You know, you're talking to the manager, you know, Kevin Cassidy. He says, all I want him to do is what he did in spring training. And that meant get ahead of hitters, keep the ball in the ballpark, and throw strikes. And he's not, at least to this point, done it.
Oh. 3 ball, 1 strike count on Cabrera. Cabrera will chop that one foul, got a round on it. Diaz, the leadoff batter, is on deck. Yeah,
and he's thrown a couple of good curveballs. He's thrown a couple of good fastballs. He's thrown a couple of good changeups. Just he hasn't, again, to this point, done it frequently. And that's kind of the difference between staying away, especially against a team like the Orioles, who can score runs in bunches. The difference between you know, maybe controlling the game somewhat and it getting out of hand.
That's why they wanted him to be the long man and not have to go into the rotation yet. That'll be fouled off again by Cabrera. For Cabrera, with the San Diego Padres, got in 90 games played last season, 28 years old. He hit .232 in those ball games with San Diego. He carries a Major League .248 lifetime batting average into the season. His outstanding speed in his career, that's been a big part of his game. 3-2. Infield backs up. Double play depth, and he'll foul that one back. And Cabrera fighting off some pitches here from Carnes.
Yeah, All-Star 2 years ago for Everth, and on a couple of occasions, 37 steals, 44. Last year, hamstring problems. Eventually, in August, would derail him for the rest of the season. So what he does, he brings speed to a lineup that over the last couple of years, last 4 years, the least amount of stolen bases in the American League. Last year, the lowest.
3-2 delivery, eighth pitch of the at bat, and he got tied up. Wanted to hold up, couldn't. Carnes will get his first strikeout, and that's the first out of the inning.
Yeah, and it's a really good curveball. Again, 3-2. You're trying to protect, and one of our keys was hook him because he has a good one, and there it is. They're trying to give that little quick, maybe emergency hack. Didn't work.
So that will bring up Diaz again, top of the order with that base hit and a run scored. Now a couple of hits, 6 at bats here in the first 2 games of the season. Infield double play depth. Diaz will take it, and that one is going to be inside. Last night, swoosh.
Yeah, 1-0 in the 6th inning off of Chris Archer. That was the 10th pitch that he got to see, and hammered a changeup for home run number 1 for him. I mean, really turned the game around.
Yeah, that was the one.
Yeah.
That changed the whole complexion of it. 1-0 delivery on the way to him, and there's another breaking ball. He did not go around on that one. Count goes to 2-0. Demuth saying nope.
Yeah, no too many counts for Carnes where the hitters can pretty much look for their pitch. And now 3-2, he kind of changed that, and he got the strikeout. But right now, you know that Alejandro Diaz is looking for something hard. If he doesn't get it, he'll most likely take it.
2-0 delivery. Joseph off first base. Fastball is going to miss up high, and Carnes is all over the place here trying to find that strike zone. He has always been a strikeout pitcher. That's what got him through the minor leagues with the outstanding record that he had for all the Ks, as he struck out 515 in 449 innings in the minors.
Yeah, look at that, Gary. Right there, 37 pitches, 18 for balls, 19 for strikes. Not what you want.
Bad ratio for
now they have an 8-man
Carnes.
bullpen. Kevin Cash and the Rays have an 8-man bullpen, but to this point, nobody throwing.
37 pitches to get 4 outs so far for Carnes. Joseph on at first base, and the pitch that will be in there for a strike. And this is kind of what Rays fans hoped wasn't going to be the case, but this is a team that's being put back together again in a building season. So there are going to be situations with players, Carnes being one of them, where you're going to watch the growth, and sometimes it could be painful. In the air down the line in left field, Jennings going over. He will make the play. Joseph will head back, and there are 2 down here in the second inning. Well, the regular season, here we are, and the best way to secure your spot for all the action is with the Orioles full or partial season plan. Members enjoy exclusive ticket savings, Major League Baseball's most flexible exchange policy, access to postseason tickets, and a lot of orange carpet benefits. Don't miss out. Visit Orioles.com/tickets or call 888-848-BIRD. Orioles home on Friday for the home opener. Gates will open at 12 noon. 12 noon on Friday. And we hope you'll also be in your seats in time for the pregame ceremonies that will start at 2:30. Buck Showalter's team will have the introductions coming out as they always do from center field. Gold gloves are going to be awarded. Hardy and Jones will get them as part of the pregame ceremonies on Friday.
Yeah, I wonder when Nick Markakis will get his. Ship it down to Atlanta. Maybe, or
when he comes to Baltimore.
Because he's still planning on living in Baltimore in the off season, or maybe some off days.
Steve Pearce gets into that one into left field. That is deep, way back, and goodbye, home run. Pearce delivers the dinger, good for 2 more Oriole runs and a 6-0 lead.
Wow, that's all I can say. Fastball home run yesterday. Boy, is he a smart hitter. And what you see about Steve Pearce is that when he gets his pitch, and he got it, he does not get cheated.
Boy, he got it up and out. Deanna Steinbrecher, our Maryland lottery contestant of the game. Congratulations, $500 on that home run. You get $500 for every Orioles home run hit in the game, and the Orioles have a 6-0 lead.
Yeah, take a look at this hanger. And this is kind of similar to the one that Adam Jones hit up the gap in left center. I mean, he gets loaded, and then the home run yesterday, fastball down the line. This one a little bit more to left center.
So Pearce, right where he was last year in his breakout season, has done it again and just blasted that. 94 off the bat. Pitch will be taken down low. Here is Snyder, RBI base hit and a run scored. The Orioles, questions about whether or not they'd be able to pick up the home runs that they had all of last season. The first 2 games this year certainly haven't bothered to look in the rearview mirror. 3-0 delivery in all 4 of those, and Carnes has the second walk of the inning.
Well, they're going to hit home runs. Here comes Jim Hickey, the Rays pitching coach. But the impressive thing about yesterday is they did it against Chris Archer. Going into the game, he only threw 12 in 194 innings. So he doesn't throw a whole lot, but they worked the count. They got their pitches. Here's one of them, Diazo on the hang and changeup. I mean, Kevin Cash knows what's going on. He was a very, very good catch and throw catcher for what, about 11, 12 years in the big leagues?
So Cash has got 1 game under his belt. First major league game, youngest manager, of course. Buck Showalter with last night's game, 2,421. A little different spread there. Cash, I read today, he was 8 years old when Buck Showalter first managed in the Penn League. 8 years old. And he said after the ball game, Cash did, of Buck Showalter, he has worked and evolved with the players, which is very impressive. And he's right about that. Buck has evolved as a manager to make it work with the current day players. 2 down, a runner on at first base, and the pitch will be taken for a strike. Fastball to Jones. Adam with an RBI double. First inning, picking up 2 runs batted in. They'll put the shift back the other way a little bit now, moving the second baseman back over to the second base side of the bag. Big cut. He was going for the long ball on that one. 0-2. Adam wanted to drive that. The way the ball, as we said, was jumping in batting practice for everybody. You don't see hitters in batting practice very often who watch their home runs. It's kind of a no-no. You take a little heat from your teammates, but they were doing it in this practice. Longoria makes a nice short hop play, and that will retire the side. But the Orioles add to it. A walk to Joseph started it, and then Pearce. Already a couple of home runs on the season and 3 RBIs, 2 of them coming with that swing of the bat. Down. Watch for pedestrians, even where least expected. Be street smart.
It is an Olympic sport in Baltimore, jaywalking.
Jaywalking?
Yeah, well,
Yep.
you know, you're kind of downtown area, so am I, and I mean, it's dangerous when people just dart out into the street, whether you're watching or driving slowly. You've got to be very careful, as they should too.
I don't advocate participation in that particular Olympic event, but
I'm just saying they're training for it in Baltimore.
Oh, that's a training grounds for that.
One of them.
Okay.
No, I mean, I live downtown. Right. I see it.
Here's Evan Longoria. And a strike on the outside corner.
I don't suggest doing it. Well,
no.
Look at that power zone. Kind of where he got the home run ball from Chris Tillman, who pitched very well yesterday. It was this one run he gave up. There's a changeup. Doesn't get the call. This is one of those tight strike zones. Yep. Yesterday Dana DeMuth, and again for friends of Dana, he had a little ample strike zone. Ed Hickox is smaller.
Delivery and a big swing and a miss on a good pitch down low. Longoria 7 for 24 off Wei-Yin Chen. Chen has spent more time sitting than pitching here in the early part of this ball game as the Orioles picking up the 6 runs on 5 hits in the first 2 innings, giving him plenty of time to watch and enjoy. Longoria reaching and will foul that one away. Evan Longoria, big bat, of course, and against left-handers, as you would expect, and put up some numbers. He hit 273 off lefties last year.
Yeah, when he's healthy, and I guess the question will be who's going to protect him in this lineup. Yeah. Because why would you ever, if you can help it, let him beat you? He's that good.
2-2 delivery on the way, and Chen, being careful here, takes the count to 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, Gary, you bring up a good point, because the modern day pitcher, what they talk about in spring training, you got to get used to getting up and down 5, 6, 7 times. It gets even harder when you're sitting on the bench. And when the good news is you're getting a lot of runs. The bad news is when you do come out, you better use those 9 warm-up pitches very efficiently. I mean, that's when focus, maturity, and Chris, as we mentioned, Wei-Yin, I mean, this was his 4th year in the United States pitching, so he's at 29 a veteran, so he understands that. But he's got a tough guy trying to get out here.
3 ball, 2 strike delivery on the way. There'll be at least 9 pitches here in this at bat. Speaking of which, of course, you also, after those long innings, when you're sitting, you got to remember the clock's ticking. So 2:25 is what you have to get out there, and you're supposed to have thrown your final warm-up pitch with 30 seconds left on that clock. 3-2 delivery on the way, and he walked him, so Longoria's on a leadoff walk here in the second inning. Well, you can join your fellow O's fans on Thursday for a special Operation Orange rally in Jessup, Maryland at the Audubon Indoor Speedway beginning at 5:30. Join the Oriole Bird Operation Orange team as fans celebrate the opening of the new Orioles baseball season beginning at 6:30. O's outfielder, former outfielder Larry Bigby will be on hand to sign some autographs and meet with fans. And for a complete schedule of rallies and street team events, go to Orioles.com/rallies. Here is Jennings. He will take the pitch outside for a ball. Jennings getting the start at left field. He was supposed to be in center till Loney got scratched with the tweak on his right side, and then things got moved around a little bit, so Jennings is in left instead of center field. 1 for 3 in the ball game last night. And will take the pitch. It'll miss inside.
Yeah, you better have your command with Hickox behind the plate, because he's not going to give you off the corners, and that's kind of the way it's supposed to be. That was a terrific at bat by Longoria. You're down by 6 runs. You work to walk off a guy that only walked 35 and 31 starts last year, and that's what you need when you're down by 6 runs.
Yep. Base runners.
Yes.
2-0 delivery on the way, and a looping swing inside out will head toward the seats. No play for the Orioles. Out of play off the bat of Jennings.
Yeah, there's a tendency as a starting pitcher when you put your team behind by 4, 6 runs, whatever it might be, that your hitters don't do that. They go up, and maybe the focus isn't there. But for Longoria, that's why he's on first.
And that's why he's one of the leaders of the ball club. You do the right things, and Longoria did. Outfield in a couple of steps in right and center on Jennings. He's got some decent power. Chen with a 2-ball 1-strike count, runner off first base, and the pitch is a called strike. There's the high strike.
Well, he earned that. Caleb Joseph, when he caught last year, the ERA was 3 runs. Three runs. Look where the glove is. Again, I mean, he just brings it back into the strike zone. You can see right around the belt. The low pitch has not been called, but that one did.
14 games for this battery, and as Jim said, a 3.05 ERA. That's going to be a base hit into right field. That's a great piece of hitting. Just went with it. Jennings protecting more than anything else, laid the bat on it, and the first two are on here in the second inning. See what Chen can do with this one. Take a look at our Maryland Live Casino inside the numbers for an offense that struggled.
Yeah, well, you talked about it. You talked about it all spring. Yesterday, runs were down. Certainly for this team, they had 700 the year before, 612 last year. Stolen bases down. That's very unusual. But then again, Jennings only stole 15 when he's stolen over 30.
Well, here's a big inning. I mean, we're very early in the ball game, and maybe 6-0 Orioles, but plenty of time for the Rays to get back in. You get the first two on, and here is Logan Foresight, and he will take the pitch away for a ball from Chen. 241 hitter off lefties last year, just 206 off right-handers for Foresight. He's making the start at first base where Loney would have been. Longoria at second, Jennings at first. Nobody out, infield of course, looking for the ground ball and the double play. Lefty's pitch, and that one's going to miss up high. Yeah, and Chen 2-0.
Yeah, trying to establish the changeup, but not able to do it. Boy, the one number that jumps out, Bud Norris also very good in this category last year. Runners in scoring position, 251 for the American League. Wei-Yin Chen was at 203. 230 career in his fourth year.
Very low number.
Yeah, really is.
Orioles shift a little bit in the infield, playing him to pull a little more. Goes the other way with a fly ball not deep. Snyder. Runners will play it at the bag. Stay there. Forsythe retired, and there's the first out here in the second inning for Chen. One down, 2 on. Now the new starting catcher this season for the Rays, Rene Rivera. Took an 0-for in the ball game last night with the 0-for-4. Infield checking with the dugout on where they want to be positioned here with the runners on at first and second base. They want the double play depth, obviously. Flaherty at second will move over towards the bag, and actually Pearce way off at first base. And the breaking ball, there's one that hung for a long time and ends up in the strike zone.
But sometimes you just get away with throwing the unexpected. I mean, that's the first curveball of the game. Now, what, 7 pitches in the first inning? Didn't need to use it. So that surprised Rene Rivera.
Rivera just could not move on that one. Here's the 0-1 delivery to him. That one's going to miss up high and away. Talking with the hitters on both teams, and they're not going to talk about it publicly because they do not want any umpire to think they are talking about them. But the feeling seems to be coming out of spring training. That strike zone is this year for most umpires is going to be bigger than it was last season for whatever the reason, whether the umpires were asked to do that, talked to by the league. And most of the hitters say it's not the width, it's the height. The width is tough to call because where the home plate umpire lines up nowadays to avoid concussions, always on the inside between the hitter and the catcher. So the outside strikes are tough to see, but the height is easier to adjust for a home plate umpire, and it seems to be the high strikes are going to be called. Right back to the mound. Chen has got it. He'll make the play over to first base.
But he forgot how many outs there were.
He had a chance maybe at 2, or at least the lead runner. You see him, he slaps his leg like forgot.
Well,
made a mistake.
I mean, that's a big play in the sense that he at least would have gotten the runner at second. I mean, if he just catches his ball, I mean, turn around, you can see, you can, I'm not laughing. I mean, it just, you do all those drills, and again, you think you know how many outs there are. Sometimes you don't. But you could see Flaherty coming in and going, hey, wait, throw it to me. Yeah. But it really, again, doesn't have any meaning if he's able to get the next hitter out. But time will tell with that.
And that hitter will be Beckham, who did not play in the ball game last night. Here are the numbers for Tim Beckham. A year ago, he's faced Chen only once and picked up a base hit 1 for 1. And let's see how that defensive lapse plays out here. You saw Buck Showalter's reaction to it in the dugout, and the stuff that he will mention. And the fastball will be there for a strike.
Yeah, former #1 draft choice out of Georgia. Had a chance to meet him for the first time yesterday. 2,503 at bats in the minor leagues.
It's a long time.
Yeah, I think they expected him maybe to get up here a little bit quicker, but then Ben Zobrist now playing with with the A's. So opportunity.
0-1 delivery, and Chen will miss inside with it. And a 1-1 strike count. 2 down, 2 on, in scoring position against Chen.
Yeah, weighing much more comfortable to his glove side. So in other words, away from lefties into righties. If he's able to get ahead, boy, he's good at hitting that inside corner.
Only the 6th major league game for Beckham. And a swing and a miss as he turned that one over and got it down and away.
Yeah, and this is what spring training was about. Get healthy. Can I establish my arm side? That's low and away to a righty. So you can see it looked like a lot of late movement. Looked like a 2-seam fastball. Worked on the changeup off that because the league pretty much knows he's more comfortable, especially second, third time coming in. And the big, strong right-handed guys wait for that pitch.
Longoria at third. Jennings on at second base. Here's the 1-2 delivery on the way, and a big cut out of his shoes on that one, and Beckham will foul that one back to hold the count at a ball and 2 strikes. Last night in the ball game, the Rays actually went 3 for 5 with runners in scoring position, even though they scored only a couple of runs in the 6-2 Orioles win. Rays left 6 on. The Orioles left 4 in the ball game. Here's Chris Tillman, who got the W last night. It was outstanding in the opening game start. 1-2 will be coming again. Chen's delivery, and that one's going to be fouled back. Got a piece of Joseph on the way by.
Yeah, a little slider that he's able to foul off. Like it might have gotten the throwing arm, which I'm sure is numb.
He'll go out to gain himself a little time. Joseph will.
Yeah, he chased the high fastball, able to foul it off, and then right here, let's see where it gets him. Yeah, right off the forearm.
Steve Clevenger down to AAA today in order to make room for Chris Davis's return. LaVarnway is the backup catcher now for the Orioles. Still back to a short bench, carrying a load of pitchers here, waiting to see whether there's going to be some kind of a deal turn that will remove some pitchers from the Orioles 25 and 40 man roster. 1-2 delivery, good take on a pitch away, and it evens it up. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Beckham trying to get a big hit here and put the Rays back into the ball game. They picked up the single from Jennings in the inning. Their only hit so far. 35 pitches have been thrown now, only 7 of those in the first inning, so a much different second inning for Wei and Chen. 2-2. Left-hander deals in the dirt. Good stop by Joseph. That'll save a run for the moment. 3-2.
Yeah, the little things. A guy that was almost out of baseball because he was defensively inadequate. That's what the scout said. That's no longer the case. But that does save a run. A little change up that he bounces, trying to establish all his pitches, and you see him just pull it, and then it's, can you get in front? Not only does he get in front, he somehow gets the glove there.
Knee walking at its best. 3 ball, 2 strikeout. Long at bat here for Beckham, who fell behind in the count early, but has extended it. His delivery to him, he went around on it, and he got him.
Yeah, gutsy pitch on a slider.
So that will retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. 2 are left, both in scoring position. Chen works his way out of it, protects the Orioles' lead. early in this one. Fans, a couple of pitchers, and the Orioles, a couple of hits. Their leadoff batters, Diaz, outstanding. Pearce driving the baseball, a couple of home runs on the season, 2 RBIs on that swing of the bat, high and deep to left field, giving the Oriole fans a lot to cheer about early in this ball game with a 6-0 lead. Dave Wallace, a little discussion with Wei and Chen. Dave doing most of the talking. Probably something to do with that play at second base on the ground ball when he forgot how many outs there were. Here's Chris Davis. His second at bat. He grounded out his first time up. Davis will take the big cut and foul it back. Now the shift put on. There you see the switcheroony going on there. They bring Longoria over to play on the second base side. Pitch on the way, and another big cut foul back. Tell you one thing, Chris came ready in this ball game to swing the bat. He's not taking any pitches here. He didn't in the first at bat, and he hasn't here. You got to know how anxious he is to be back playing. Target up high, pitch a little bit maybe outside, foul tipped into the mitt, strikeout.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a lot of people until he proves that he can get the bat head to the ball, trying to not drop his hands right there. 94, a little bit off the plate, so he chased a shade. But I think you're going to see a lot of guys, especially if you could command in. I mean, that's when you have a big, strong guy that, even the year before he hit 53 home runs. 3 years ago he hit 33. So he's out over the plate. Boy, you don't want to mess around there if you.
Manny Machado will take the pitch on the inside corner. Manny, a sac fly RBI. Talked about situational hitting. It's always there for clubs this year. Buck Showalter impressing it even more on the players to get things done situationally. Manny did the first time up with that sac fly. He'll be retired here in the ground ball to Asdrubal Cabrera. And there are 2 down. Our PNC minor league report. Almost time to start that minor league season.
No, there are the AA starters. Tim Berry last year, I think he was 6 and 7 at Bowie, so he'll go back. Brandon Klein, he was at Frederick, and then we got Parker Bridwell. He was also at Frederick last year, so he'll move up. And then Dylan Bundy coming off the Tommy John. This will be his, I guess his first full year since the Tommy John.
Ryan Flaherty down to first base on the big hop. Foresight is there. Will take it to the bag, and Carnes gets the applause of the home crowd as he has a very quick 1-2-3 inning. Orioles on top, 6-0. Also a destination for culinary adventure, from fresh local seafood to an eclectic array of world-class cuisine. Savor Sarasota Restaurant Week, June 1 through 14, is celebrating its 10th year. Visit savorsarasota.com. Head to the beach. A lot of Oriole fans on hand here. Taiwan, Chen on the mound, recognized. I was looking to see, we talk about opening day in the major leagues. There are lots of opening days. Opening day will be coming up in Taiwan. in about a month, and they'll play some baseball around the world. We don't hear a lot about opening days everywhere else in baseball, but they are there. In Taiwan, one of those countries that has a professional baseball league. The delivery, and that will be taken for a strike.
Yeah, Kevin Kiermaier last year, 10 home runs on the year, one off lefties. It was off Wei and Chen, who only threw 3 against left-handed pitching for the whole year.
Ooh.
And it wasn't on that kind of pitch. Hit it in Baltimore. Hit a rocket in one of those 12:30 games, getaway games. He smoked one up into the seats in Baltimore.
Kiermaier had a 1 for 3 in the ball game last night. Here's the 0-2 delivery on the way. I was looking here. The Taiwan League has only 4 teams in it. It opens on March 21st. They open up in Italy on March 27th. They have won the European title for the last 7 years. Teams out of Italy. Pitch will be in the outside corner. South Korea's got a league. Starts on March 28th. Cuba's plays. The playoffs are going on in Cuba right now. They're in their final round. 2-2 delivery on the way. Britain's got Major League Baseball as well. A lot of games televised now in Britain. They start on April 12. Only 24 games. France starts on March 29. They play all of their games as weekend doubleheaders. 3-2 delivery on the way to left field. Hit pretty good going back near the warning track. Reaching out, and that'll take a hop. Daza reached for it, couldn't get it. Look at the speed. Coming around, Kiermaier, throw to third, not in time. Man, can he fly! A 3-2 pitch and a triple.
Yeah, well, again, he wasn't in the lineup, but he's probably going to play pretty much about everybody. And this is one of the reasons. He's going to learn to hit lefties. I mean, he's an impact player, one of the better defensive right fielders or outfielders. And then right here, it becomes a sprint. I mean, this is a double, but out of the box, you're thinking it's a double until they hold me at second. Otherwise, I'm going all the way to third. And you better make it because you're down by 6 runs. And he does.
So Kiermaier leads it off in the 9 spot with a triple here in the 3rd inning. That is hit number 2. Orioles will stay back with the 6-0 lead in the ball game. The infield. Here's Geyer, grounded out his first time up. Brandon Geyer, RBI chance, and he will take the pitch for a strike. Geyer's the DH in that leadoff spot.
Yeah, I am sure Derek Shelton, the hitting instructor for the Rays, is saying, listen, Chen is not as sharp as we've seen him. Velocity can be 92, 93. It's about 89 to 90. Trying to establish his changeup. There's another one. That's a good thing. Made a really good pitch to Beckham. So let's maybe get some runs in, and you never know. The one thing you want to do if you're down by 6 is get their bullpen up.
Yep.
And of course, Wei and Chen would like to keep that from happening.
Chen, 1 ball, 1 strikeout. Geyer, real good numbers against left-handers last year, hitting .297, almost 50 points higher than he did against the right-handers. Geyer in there in that leadoff spot in this ball game. Jaso, who had that injured wrist last night, will be out for apparently a couple of games, not on the DL. The x-rays were negative on it. It's a bruise on the wrist when he slid into second base and was tagged out. 1-2 delivery on the way, again reaching to protect, and again foul back into the seats. Will hold the count at 1-2.
Yeah, the amazing thing when you look at Brandon Geyer's numbers, and of course his first major league home run was in Baltimore, about 3 years ago, is that he actually got more bats against right-handers. Even though 48 out of those 60 starts were against left-handed pitching. So I imagine that's the way he'll be used again.
1 ball, 2 strike count. Runner off third. And Geyer somehow got a bat on that, I think. That was almost off his top hand that time. Again, protecting. He protected on a pitch away and then on a pitch inside to keep that count at 1-2.
Well, you got an RBI out there waiting for you as long as you don't strike out. Infield back. Fly ball, get the run in. You have great speed at third. We saw that from Kiermaier.
This is where the Rays had a lot of trouble last year. Even when they got people on, trying to get them home was a problem. Here's the 1-2 delivery on the way, and a swing and a miss on an 89-mile-an-hour up pitch.
Yeah, again, the velocity not where it normally is, but the location is. Look where the glove is. Look where the ball ends up. Perfect pitch underneath his hands. And Why does he chase this? You could see him shorten the swinging because the count's 1-2. Had to swing, had to protect.
So Steven Souza Jr., who grounded out his first time up, will stand in. He'll get the RBI chance. These are the kind of innings where if you get a leadoff triple and you don't get that run in, it is more than just not scoring the run. It is deflating offensively for the team that fails in that department. You just, in this game, have to score. When you got a runner on at third and less than 2 outs, you got to get that run in. But
especially
all spring.
Especially when you're conceding.
Yeah.
I mean, now Wayne Chen's not conceding it. If he gets ahead again, he'll look for the strikeout.
1-0 delivery. Tapper. Runner will come. Play's got to be at first. So they will get the run in. RBI. Souza gets it, and it is a 6-1 ball game. But the Orioles get the out. On Saturday, enjoy the season's first night game at Oriole Park. The Birds take on the Jays. 7:05. First 20,000 fans, 15 and over. Get the 2014 AL East champion wall art. Orange canvas wall art, perfect to hang in any room in the house. Great collector's item. Celebrate last year's great season. And get your tickets at Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. 2 down, nobody on. A 6-1 ball game. Here's Cabrera, strikeout victim, his first time up. He goes after one at 90 and can't catch up to it. So Chen with a chance to get out of the inning after the leadoff triple, surrendering only that 1 run. He can get Cabrera out of there right here. Up to 52 pitches thrown in the ball game. That one he gets away from the right-handed batter at 91 miles an hour. Chen, 29 years old, with that big 16-win season last year. Probably still not enough recognition for the season that he had. Understated. 0-2 delivery and goes up after it, and that's that. Cabrera strikes out for the second time. A run on a hit, no errors, nobody left on base. We've completed 3 here at the Trop. Orioles trying to go 2-0 to start the year. In the first inning, as they did last night, De Aza leads it off, base hit. Pearce gets a base hit. Snyder gets a base hit. Adam Jones gets a base hit. Machado sac fly. Some lumber early for the Orioles. And for Wei-Yin Chen, a 6-1 lead in the ball game. 6-5-0 for the Orioles. 1-2-0 for the Rays. Tillman last night. Chen looking for the victory as the Orioles starter in this one. And we go to the fourth. Joseph against Carnes. And the pitch there for a strike. Caleb drew a walk, scored in the second. 2 walks from Carnes so far in the game. One of them has scored. RBI by Snyder. 2 RBIs by Jones. RBI Machado. And Pearce with a 2-run homer.
Yeah, all you got to look at is his year last year down at AAA Durham. You see the inconsistency. I mean, he was really good. April, 8.20 ERA, 1.39 in May. June, it went over 10 runs. Then in July, it was 1.62. And then in August, it was 6.19. So you look at him, you go, boy, he's got a nice curveball, but maybe command problem. Good velocity, 92 to 94 with some movement. Occasionally good changeup. He just has to figure it out. And I don't know if he'll get the opportunity, but then there's the good hook. So he has all the pitches, but does he have the command to pitch at this level? And I guess because of all our injuries, he might get an opportunity to prove that.
Well, they've got to. I mean, they really don't have a lot of people left who can pitch. Ironically, at 27 years old, he happens to be the oldest member of their starting rotation. 1-2 delivery on the way. Joseph will take the breaking ball outside. And Caleb works the count to 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And that's a pretty good curveball. Maybe a AAA they chase. But here, he just kind of said, nope, not swinging at that one.
Joseph now with a 2-2. Shift on against him in the infield. Right-hander will take the pitch on the outside corner. That one is a strike. Strikeout number 3 for the right-hander.
Well, you could hang around making this pitch. I mean, look at this, right on the corner. And then again, Rivera, I guess maybe framed. That's, of course, if they put you in jail on false charges, you get framed. He had the highest ratio of any catcher. Watch him bring this ball back into the strike zone. And Ed Hickox falls for it because that ball was off the plate a little bit.
Here is Cabrera, batting 9th for the Orioles. Cabrera, strikeout victim, his first time up. Game 3 of this series will be tomorrow night. Right back with you. 6:30 O's Extra. 7 o'clock for the ball game. Miguel Gonzalez and Jake Odorizzi are the scheduled starters for Game 3. Orioles have a day off and then open up at home on Friday, as it'll be Norris against Burley in all likelihood. Jimenez scheduled to go against Aaron Sanchez in Saturday's game, and Sunday Chris Tillman would come back against Drew Hutchison in the Orioles opener at home in that big series, and hoping the weather will cooperate there for the Orioles as they get set to go home after the ball game tomorrow night. 1 ball, 2 strike count on Cabrera. Norris out taking his work today. Gonzalez, you saw there, getting ready for tomorrow. Did he go? Nope, says Dana Demuth. Leaving the count up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The starters really fed off one another's success last year, challenging one another, and hope to do that again this season. 2-2 delivery on the way. Ground ball, second base. Good speed down the line. Beckham's throw will be there in time. And there are 2 down. Well, when the Orioles win, everyone wins. And the Orioles win and score 5 or more runs, you get 50% off regular menu price online orders at papajohns.com by entering promo code Orioles5. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, valid at participating Baltimore area Papa John's.
Get online.
There it is. 6 up. Beats us around. Here's Diaz, a leadoff batter, single scored and is flying out. And the pitch taken for a strike.
Yeah, this doesn't look like the same guy that pitched the first 2 innings. Now all of a sudden, good change-ups, good command with the fastball, the knee-buckling curveball.
Up to 67 pitches thrown. Diaz, there's one off the table.
Oh, there's the changeup. So he turned it over. I mean, that's really all you can do once you have big innings. You just try to keep it right there and hope that your opponent will have a bad inning.
Alejandro Diaz will take the pitch inside. That one's slicing, but not catching the strike zone. And it'll go to 1-2. Retired the side in order in the 3rd inning. Trying to do it again here in the 4th. 6 in a row retired by Carnes. That'll be into the screen to hold the count at 1 ball, 2 strikes from Diaz. In case you were wondering, with the clock in effect for the opening game, you know, the new rules try and speed the game up. You had the starters going, and generally when you have the aces of the teams pitching, games are shorter. 2:48 was the average time for opening day games. That's 20 minutes shorter than last year's average. Strikeout with the assist to going to Rivera. 1-2-3 inning. 7 in a row set down by Carnes, but the Orioles got to him early. They were popping with a 6-1 lead. Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. By Royal Farms. Royal Farms ATMs are surcharge free. Get your cash for nothing. Bank or credit card fees may still apply. And by your local Mercedes dealership. Gary Thorne, Jim Palmer, great to have you with us here at the Trop. Beautiful St. Petersburg, Florida. Orioles have a 6-1 lead here in Game 2. Wei-Yin Chen, 1 walk and 4 strikeouts so far. Only a couple of hits, a single and the triple by Kiermaier, who would come around to score the lone run so far for the Rays. Longoria leads it off, Jennings, and then Foresight. And Longoria will take the pitch away for a ball. Longoria picked up a walk in the second inning, leading it off. First 2 got on that inning, and Chen then settled down and got him out of there. Back into the screen off his bat, 1-1. Longoria with the outfield deep on him. Infield giving him the middle. He rips that one. He gets that looping swing on a pitch. He can really drive it. Wants to pick one up from the waist down area and lift it.
Well, he had 32 home runs, 2 years ago, last year. Like he said, I got pitches hit, I just didn't hit them, but still 91 RBIs, 22 home runs. But talking to Derek Shelton, and he said 15 of those home runs center field to right. Now, we don't see that very often.
No.
But you saw it yesterday, tremendous power. And ever since he's come up, talk about relaxed when he's hitting.
He's got a very quiet, no movement approach. And that's a base hit, and that'll go into left field.
Yeah, you just can't pitch in the middle of the plate to him and not have the ball hit hard.
So he's on again, leadoff single here in the 4th inning for Longoria. Welcome back, host fans. Join the conversation on Twitter by tagging your tweets using hashtag WelcomeBackBirds to win Orioles gear from Masson. Be sure to follow at Masson Orioles all season long for more ways to win. Being social with Masson has its rewards.
Yeah, Buck Showalter, you just saw him on your screen talking about one of the most important things, especially with maybe a little rain in the forecast over the weekend in Baltimore when the Orioles open, is make sure you use everybody in your bullpen. But he doesn't want to do it once you get a 6-0 lead.
No.
But for Wei-Yin Chen to qualify, and you think about this, I mean, you can tell people you don't, but when you get an early lead, to qualify for a win, you need to get 15 outs. So he needs another, 6?
Leadoff man on in this inning. 0-1 count on Jennings, who had a base hit his last time up. And the pitch to Jennings. Take it inside for a ball. There you see the numbers career-wise for Desmond Jennings. 2 have been left on by the Rays, only 1 by the Orioles so far. Big 2 in that second inning, both in scoring position. Tampa Bay couldn't get them home. Leans away from that pitch, and it will miss. Probably inside, maybe a little high, and a 2-ball, 1-strike count.
Yeah, since the first inning when he threw 7 pitches, there haven't been a lot of easy outs. Some of it is maybe not the best stuff. The others, they've had some pretty good at bats.
2-1, short lead at first base. Longoria not going anywhere. Ball put up in the air into the white ceiling. Adam Jones finds it and puts it away. 1 down here in the 4th inning. Well, let's take a look at our Major League Notebook. How about for starters? MLB News and Notes. The Dodgers yesterday, $270 million in their payroll. That is a major league record for a ball club starting a season or even during a season. And for Sonny Gray in Oakland, he took a no-hit bid into the 8th inning last night against the Rangers, but he kept talking to his manager between innings. Bob Melvin kept trying to get away from him. He wanted to talk about his walk-up music. He said, "I'm not superstitious." And Melvin said, "Get away from me." Swing and a miss. That's the only time I've ever heard of a pitcher throwing a no-hitter in the majors who can't stop talking to his manager about his walk-up music. Sonny Gray ended up giving up a hit in the ball game, but had a great outing.
Yeah, well, Bob Melvin, I mean, he's an interesting guy. As you know, he went to Berkeley, University of California. I always found him, when he caught for the Orioles, very insightful.
Logan Forsythe, a little chopper foul outside of first base.
You get the stock report because he was a backup catcher, so he didn't catch that much. So, you know, he could tell you how the economic outlook looked for the United States. So he can do a lot of things. Not to mention manage.
He is superstitious, though. Bob Melvin.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Well,
he is superstitious. In baseball, he's a baseball guy in that regard. It was kind of funny last night. He was walking one end of the dugout. Greg would follow him. He walked to the other end of the dugout. Greg would follow him back. 0-2 count on Logan Forsythe. He flied out to right field his first time up. Runner at first, foul back. Had one to hit there and missed it. At 90 miles an hour, which is where Wei-Yin Chen has been with the fastball. 91, 90, 89, somewhere there.
Yeah, every once in a while I'll have those games where he'll be a little crisper. Yeah, maybe get to 93, occasional 94.
At first base, leadoff single Longoria. Nobody defensively between first and second with that shift on. And that one's going to be fouled back. Missed another one in the count at 0-2.
Yeah, the one thing he did do last year, I mean, most wins he had. He won 12 games his first year with the Orioles. Then he had an oblique pull, 7 wins the second year, 16 last year. A lot more ground balls and fly balls than his first 2 years. And that's why the home runs went down. But he still only walked 35 and 31 starts. That's an amazing number.
0-2 the count. Runner not going anywhere. And again, pump foul, trying to use that hole between first and second that time.
And what he's made a nice adjustment using the changeup. And of course, the intent is that if you can get somebody like Foresight maybe to get out on his front foot, roll over, you might get a little bounder to one of your infielders and turn a double play, get 2 outs on 1 pitch. That just hasn't been the case.
Forsythe career 270 off lefties, 210 off right-handers. Here's the 0-2 delivery to him and takes that pitch. That'll break inside a little bit under the arms.
Now you got to think that maybe somewhere, and you talked about it yesterday, did it go over the plate? Nope, it is inside. So good take. Nice little slider.
1 ball, 2 strike count. Runner off first in the dirt. Again, Caleb Joseph makes the stop to hold him on the short hop at the plate. And a 2 ball, 2 strike count.
Well, they seem like insignificant plays. It doesn't matter what the scoreboard says. It keeps a double play in order. So that's twice tonight. Once with a runner at third and less than 2 outs. That saved a run. And that one still keeps the double play in order. So maybe he can get out of this inning with 1 pitch.
Here's the 2-2 delivery and a little roller that'll be fouled off. Talk about looking at Caleb Joseph and the work he's done with Matt Wieters out, the injury last year and now starting this season. You talk about the progression of a baseball player. There is Matt just continuing to throw on the side. I mean, Caleb Joseph's story is pretty incredible. This is a guy who got called up for spring training every year just to be one of the catchers who would help work out pitchers in spring training and then would inevitably get sent down. And there really wasn't much talk about Caleb Joseph staying around at the major league level or ever getting to the major league level, much less improving himself sufficiently to be a legitimate starting catcher. And that's exactly what he's done, and he is. And certainly got some help from John Russell, who does such great work with catchers for the Orioles.
Well, to say it's not only the physical part of catching, but also the mental.
3-2 is a towering pop-up. Got to find it. It'll come back over the screen on pitch number 10 to hold it 3-2.
And then the fact that when Matt Wieters went down, there is this guy here at the Trop in St. Petersburg, but Matt Wieters pretty much stayed with the club all year long, so certainly you can rely on his experience. But at the end of the day, you got to call the pitches. I mean, pitchers can certainly shake their heads, get to where they want to go, but it's nice to have the right finger down when you get into a jam.
3 ball, 2 strike count. Delivery on the way, and that ball's tagged. That's going to be a souvenir. Way back and goodbye home run, and that's going to put the Rays right back in the ball game. Logan Forsythe, 2 RBIs, 6-3.
Yeah, well, how do you get to that pitch? You take a lot of close pitches, sliders, changeups, down and in. So again, 6-1. I've been there, Wei-Yin Chen saying I got to throw him a strike. Doesn't get it where he wants, and Forsythe's waiting. And all of a sudden, 6-1 goes to 6-3. And now, if you're Buck Showalter, yes, you'd like to get Wei-Yin Chen a win, but you'd also like to win the game. Now, this really closes the gap. 2-run home run, and it's smoked.
Second career home run that Forsythe has had off Chen. And a 6-3 ball game, and now the discussion with Dave Wallace, the pitching coach. About how long do we go with Chen? Off speed delivery. Rivera way out in front of that one. 6 runs, 5 hits now for the Orioles. 3 runs and 4 hits for the Rays. Rivera grounded out his first time up. Dave Wallace watching intently here, and the pitch down low for a ball. Ball's really flying out of here in these 2 games in a ballpark we showed you last night that doesn't surrender a lot of home runs. Here's the 1-1 delivery, and that will miss outside.
Yeah, I didn't remember. I believe it was 2011. The Orioles came down here. They played 9 games at the Trop. Tells you how good the pitching was. They scored 16 runs.
And a swing and a miss on a pitch that skimmed off the plate.
A little change up
on that one.
Probably more. I've seen him throw more changeups tonight. I mean, the intent, this is what he worked on, and there's a good one. Obviously, Rivera fooled by the arm speed.
Weighing right back at him after giving up the home runs. Home run to Foresight, still able to find that strike zone. 2-2 delivery to him, and that one's in the air. Left field in the yard near the warning track. Diaz is back there and will put it away. Didn't miss by much on that one. 2 down.
Second baseman, Beckham.
That'll bring Beckham to the plate. We talked about if there was a negative, and there weren't many for Wei and Chen. Those home runs, 23 of them last year, tied for 9th in the American League. But as Jim mentioned, got better as the season went along. Chen trying to eliminate that, getting the ball down in the strike zone and getting more ground balls. 2 away, bases empty, 2 runs in here in the 4th inning. And the breaking ball is in there for a strike. Good one. 70-mile-an-hour off speed delivery. Beckham a strikeout victim, 1 of 4. Wei and Chen is picked up in the ballgame. That one lifted in the air to center. Jones will come in and put it away. So 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors, nobody left on base. 4 complete in game 2 of this 2015 year. As the heroes for the month of April, the Orioles helped raise more than $176,000 during the 14 winter meeting auction. They donated proceeds from their playoff winnings last year, and they hosted Longevity's annual Breathe Deep Baltimore Walk in memory of Orioles former public relations director Monica Barlow, who passed away at the age of 36 from lung cancer. The Orioles during spring training wore those T-shirts supporting longevity. The longevity T-shirts you see there. There'll be another Breathe Deep Baltimore Walk this year for longevity.
Yeah, what a great cause. And of course, when you have people that work in the front office, and the Orioles certainly talked about this, they're part of your family. And boy, I think everybody really misses her deeply.
Yep.
What a wonderful lady she was.
Certainly, and she was the one who spearheaded that to get it started with the Orioles, and they have followed through. Here is Steve Pearce. Pearce with a single, a home run, 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored. Carnes has managed to stay in this ball game. 73 pitches thrown. He's given up the 6 runs on 5 hits. Top of the order has done the damage against him. De Aza, Pearce, Snyder, Jones, the top 4. Check swing and a pitch at the knees and a good one for a strike. De Aza's 1 for 3, a run scored. Pearce 2 for 2, 2 scored. Snyder, he's been on twice, RBI and a run scored. Jones 1 for 2 with a 2 RBI double. Delivery, and Pearce will take it outside, and the count goes to 2-2.
Yeah, totally different guy on the mound for the Rays. I mean, the stuff's crisper, breaking ball better, changeup, command, out of the middle of the plate so far.
2-2 delivery, put up in the air. He got good wood on that one, but it's 400 to straightaway center. Kiermaier will go over and put that away, and Pearce is retired. 1 away in the 5th inning. They finally get Pearce out of there. Snyder and Jones to follow Steve here in the Oriole lineup.
Well, what Nathan Carnes has done is he's allowed his team to creep back into the game. So they now, with another 5 innings to go, still think they have a chance to win this game.
Yep.
And we saw their bullpen was pretty good yesterday.
Big leads early. They're wonderful things, except.
Well, I always made me nervous. I wanted to get a lot of runs. I just want to kind of do it progressively.
Yeah.
You know, maybe get me 1 or 2.
Give me 2 more.
Or 2 more a little bit later. But
I mean, we just see it so often. I don't know if it's just human nature. You get a big lead early in the ball game. I mean, real early, like the Orioles did. 6 runs in the first 2 innings, and then you kind of think, gee, we're in pretty good shape here.
Yeah, and then you got Kevin Gosman, who a lot of people think, certainly can start in the big leagues. 7-7 last year, low ERA.
See where he warms up out there. Kevin always does this. He works behind the mound for 2 or 3 tosses, even when he's in the game.
Well, think about this. So when you throw, watch him. He'll come up. He throws uphill. It makes you get over your front side. So there is a method to your madness. I tell the story in instructional league. I went down to Harry Burkeen. I was coming out of A-ball, and I took the ball and stepped in front of the mound. He said, "You can always tell the bonus boys. They never want to throw 60 feet 6 inches." Last time I ever did it.
I love it. That's memory.
That's all I had to hear.
You learned that one.
Yeah.
That's taken for a strike. Travis Snyder's had a walk, a single, an RBI. The infield shifts. Here we see these shifts in the middle of an at-bat. The count goes to 2-2. And they move the shortstop and the third baseman. Transpose them in the infield. And the pitch will be taken up high. So a full count, 3-2 on Snyder. Jones waiting on deck. Orioles shortstop J.J. Hardy, by the way, eligible to come off on Saturday. He worked out today. We'll take a look at that during our ball game tonight. Orioles would love to get some of these people off the DL. 3-2 pitch on the way, and that's in the dirt. Good job by Snyder. He's on again. 2 walks and a single in this ball game, and the Orioles have a base runner on. Third walk surrendered by Carnes. Well, for every Orioles walk, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield contributes $50 to support the March of Dimes. The O's have drawn 5 walks, a total of $250. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. There's JJ. Well, he's chomping at the bit to get back in. Jones a double in the first inning, good for 2 RBIs, grounded out last time up. Pitch in the dirt. Nice play made by Rivera. With Snyder on at first base. May have been crossed up, and Hickey's coming back out. Third visit for the pitching coach in the ball game to the mound. Talking about J.J. Hardy today, it's the shoulder, of course, that put him on the DL. There he is earlier this afternoon.
Yeah, it's the left shoulder. So what you'll see a lot of balls to his right. So he has to reach over, which is where he has to stretch. I think it was a subscapular scapular inflammation. So again, that's one of the hardest plays to make because you need shoulder strength. But he said he felt pretty good coming out of that. And I would imagine as the week proceeds, he'll take some batting practice.
Hoping to get him back. And to the depth. Hard hit ball, double to play. In a hurry. So Adam Jones hits into the double play. That'll retire the side. Only 3 face. Carnes again settling in here since that second inning. The Orioles 6, the Rays 3. Series finale against the Rays. Jake Odorizzi takes the mound against Miguel Gonzalez. Our coverage on Mass at 6:30. O's Extra, presented by Jeep, followed by our game coverage at 7. We've got all the access you need right here on Mass.
So Miguel Gonzalez, chance to be one of the 5 Orioles starters. Jake Odorizzi, you can see 11 and 13, but much better here at the Trop. And they were talking, they said he's a little bit like Chris Tillman, where he has a little lift on that fastball. He was part of the James Shields, right? And there's Miguel ready for to battle the Rays.
That'll be tomorrow. Incredibly, final game of the first series of the year. So the Orioles, Wei-Yin Chen on the mound, 80 pitch count so far. And the pitch will be taken by Kiermaier, who delivered a leadoff triple in the 3rd inning, scored on Sousa's ground ball. 2-run homer by Foresight, the other runs for the Rays in the ball game. Kiermaier, breaking ball that leaned him back, and he couldn't get back into the hitting position. In there for a strike, 1-1 from Chen.
Yeah, if he's going to play every day, and certainly defensively, they'd love to have him out there, he's going to have to hit lefties. Get the opportunity to do it.
Kiermaier will watch that one go down low.
I mean, he's scorched. There it is, and he finally got a ball out over the plate with the count 3-2, and then, I mean, hit it just short hop the wall in left center.
2-1 delivery on the way. Kiermaier reaches, big hopper. Chen gets over to cover. Flip by Pearce is there. Kiermaier's retired. Well, this date in baseball history will take you back April 7, 1969. Bill Singer became the first Major League player to officially record a save. It was in a 3-2 win for the Dodgers, and Bill is here. He is a scout for the Nationals. There's Bill Singer. I was talking with him before the game tonight. He said, I didn't know I had the first save until like 20 years later. He said, Don Drysdale started the game, and they wanted Drysdale to pitch 6, so I came in for 3, finished the ball game up. The save rule had just been instituted, and Bill Singer became the first one to get it, but he said it took a long time for I
Well, not only did he do that, he also pitched 315 innings that year, won 20 games with the Dodgers, and then 4 years later won 20 games with the Angels.
And he was also the first pitcher, he was telling me tonight, to throw a pitch for Toronto when they opened the franchise in Toronto.
And that would be 77.
Yep, said I threw out the first pitch for him. Bill's a great guy, wonderful scout, and didn't know he was going to be here at the ballpark tonight. We were looking that up today. That hit him. So Geyer is on, hit by a pitch, a breaking ball. And with one away, the Rays get a base runner on here in the 5th.
Yeah, he doesn't do much to get out of the way of this. I mean, he just freezes and takes it off the knee. And well, there is a way to kind of circumvent that. Maybe not in this game. Well, I mean, seriously.
I know.
I mean, if you want to get hit, I can hit you. But it won't be that benign.
Be in the ribs with a 90-mile-an-hour fastball.
Maybe a little more.
Okay. Gosman is ready in the bullpen. As Jim has talked about, though, if Chen's going to be a pitcher of record here, he's got to get through this inning. That'll be foul back as Sousa's up. Steven Sousa Jr., he has picked up an RBI, 2 ground balls to second base in the game. He went 1 for 4 in the ball game last night. The Rays threatening to. They're back in the game, but get even more into it here. The Orioles looking for a double play ground ball, which they've not had yet in this game. Short lead at first. Here's the 0-1 delivery. Chen is another, like Tillman last night, who controls the running game extremely well. Only 6 attempts against him all of last year in 185 innings, and only 1 stolen base. Tillman, only 2 stolen bases against him in 2 years.
Yeah, only 13 attempts for a right-hander, 6'5" right-hander. Just amazing.
Timeout asked for at the plate. Seemed around the majors, reading the stories, listening today, that the use of the clock that's in effect and the batters staying in the box really didn't have much of an impact. Players just did it in the ball games on opening day. Pitch will be taken outside. There aren't going to be any. There'll be some reminders, but the warnings and fines won't start until May 1st regarding being out of the box at the wrong time. Major League Baseball allowing a break-in period for.
And they're only going to be fines, right?
They're only going to be fines. Yep. 1-2 delivery on the way and a bouncer. And down low. It's all about the pace of the game we talked about all spring. Required to keep a foot in the box, step out after a swing or other break in the action. The timers will be used to ensure the prompt return to play after breaks, so that clock that's running in all the ballparks. Players notified of violations post game by Major League Baseball. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Down to third and a foul. Chasing some chalk right next to the plate that time. 2-2. Rudy took care of that ball down there, protecting all of mankind while they warm up in the bullpen. No balls are ever hit into the bullpens that are on the field unless somebody's warming up. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Both bullpens active as the Rays get somebody up as well. Runner off first base. And the 2-2 delivery, and another one fouled off, battling here. Grant Belfour in the bullpen.
Yeah, they saw him yesterday. In fact, saw a lot of the bullpen yesterday. Well, you're at a point, if you're Kevin Cash, you're going, I like where we are. You know, Souza, again, if you were with us yesterday, 350 at AAA, 18 home runs, stole bases, really good defensive player.
First throw Chen's made over with a runner on.
And that was just kind of a courtesy throw, not any kind of move whatsoever.
Souza got in some games with the Nationals, 21 last year. Those are the only games he's played at the major league level before this season. Pitch to him, good eye. And he takes it and it goes full.
Yeah, he's really tried to establish, and you can see the pitch count at 94, that changeup. It must not have much effect because they tape it. I mean, anywhere, usually you can get him to roll over, maybe 1 or 2. And I think he's probably thrown 15 to 18 tonight, have been really effective. So the intent's been there, but just haven't been getting the results that he would like with that pitch.
3-2, runner not going, foul back. Souza putting on an at-bat right here, wearing Chen's pitches off, and the count stays at 3-2. Souza ended up in the minors with a .260 minor league average going back to 2007, acquired in the deal from the Nationals. On at first base, Geyer hit by a pitch. Chen will be throwing his 9th pitch of this at bat. On the 3-2, runner not going, and wow, earned the walk, just missed a little bit inside, and there are 2 on, and that's it. Wei-Yin Chen is not going to be the pitcher of record in this ball game. He's got to come out of there. The chance to get a win after the Orioles jumped out to the big 6-0 lead after 2. Not able to go far enough in this ball game, and Kevin Gosman will come out of the pen for the O's.
pitches pretty well, especially early. Big strike out of Tim Beckham right there to get out of the second inning or third inning, make it, and then using the changeup. Well, but they kind of climbed their way back in. There it is, 4 in the third, 4 hits. Again, doesn't walk a whole lot of guys, a lot of pitches, a lot of pretty good at bats by the Rays as they work their way in. And your Jiffy Lube pitching change. It's time for a little relief for your car too. Visit Jiffy Lube for your regular oil changes and help prevent damage and wear to your engine. Jiffy Lube, drive in today. Kevin Gosman on. Not too hard to go to the bullpen when he's out there.
Gosman appeared as a starter and only as a starter last year. 2013 he had 15 relief appearances. Cabrera 2 on, 1 down after the first pitch and does not catch up to it at 87 miles an hour.
Yeah, well, he's got 2 changeups and that was a splitter, and ball dives. I mean, he can throw anywhere from 93 to 99. The slider better this year than it was last in spring training. Power slider.
Only 24 years old, the much touted and respected 0-1, and that ball drilled down the line, but it's pulled. It'll be up off the tarp over the bullpen, and the count will go to 2 strikes, and Caleb Joseph will go out to talk to him as Wei and Chen.
Yeah, well, that was the straight changeup. Yeah, and that really speeds the bat up, and that's Drupal Cabrera all over it. So I think Cabrera coming in. What signs are we using with a runner at second? Certainly doesn't want to be leaning the wrong way at shortstop.
Gosman on to try and hold a 6-3 lead that the Orioles have. Potential tying run at the plate for the Rays and Cabrera, and you got Longoria waiting on deck. Infield a double play depth. Outfield will shade a bit towards left. Gosman 0-2. Runners go. Throw down. Pitch out. They had it. Oh, don't get him. A double steal, even though the Orioles had it called. They had the pitch out but could not get the runner. Geyer third.
Yeah, again, the throw just a little high, and then when you have to make the tag, I mean, you're looking at it right here, and the foot does get in. So gutsy play. You stay out of the double play. You can see the whole bench for the Rays reacting in the background.
Now 2 are in scoring position, and a 1-ball 2-strike count on Cabrera. A big lead for Geyer at second. One of the reasons he was able to get the third so quickly. And a swing and a miss, and was he ever late on that at 98 miles an hour.
Well, we've seen Kevin Gosman reach even 99. I've never seen him hit 100. But look at the movement on this. He doesn't really throw it where he wants, but he throws it hard enough with enough movement. And the 2-strike situation, ball running right out of the zone, can't catch up to it. He swings when the ball's in the glove, Gary.
Another great matchup here as you get Longoria against Kevin Gosman. 2 on, 2 down. Longoria's had a base hit and a walk and a run scored. He scored ahead of Foresight on Logan Forsythe's home run in the 4th inning. Gosman with a delivery. They were talking, they being coaches and players of the Rays before the ball game at the cage, about the Orioles starters, saying, I don't think baseball realizes how good the Orioles starters are. And then they said, and then there's that Gosman guy. He said coming out of the bullpen, they were like, whoa. 1-0 delivery on the way. Big cut, foul back.
Well, yeah, Derek Shelton, I was talking to him, and Tommy Hunter came in yesterday and did get Longoria out with the tying run at the plate. I mean, this was a 6-2 win by the Orioles. But what Derek said is, even though he got jammed at 97, he still got the bat head to the ball. The ball was sitting up off the plate. So the one thing about Longoria, you can get him out, but he's one of those high and tight, low and away guys. And if you leave it in the middle of the plate, he can hit it a long way.
293 with runners in scoring position last year for Evan Longoria. He's got 2 in that situation right now. Gosman with a 1-ball 1-strike count. Longoria takes it. It's 100 miles an hour on our gun. 2-1. After he started.
Well, what he learned
with the off-speed stuff.
You mentioned 2 years ago when he was in the bullpen, he said, I learned a lot about myself because I knew I could come in and maybe I was going to pitch 1-2 times through the order. He could go a little higher than he normally does as a starter with the velocity.
2-1 delivery on the way. Longoria will take that one outside.
Well, he's not the type of guy that. Yeah, he's not the type of guy that you give into. And obviously, you don't want to put the potential tying run at the plate, but you do look on deck. And I mean, no disrespect to Desmond Jennings, but you either make your pitch or you try to get Jennings out.
Runners second and third. Geyer was hit by a pitch. He's at third. So the runner on at second base after drawing a walk. 3 ball, 1 strike count. Gosman's delivery to him. That's right there. 98 on the gun on that one, and a full count at 3-2 with 2 down.
Yeah, he had the luxury of looking maybe for a breaking ball. And I think that's why he didn't swing at that fastball at 98.
Infield will back up even a couple of steps more with the 2 outs. Give themselves a lot of room on Longoria, who can hit the ball hard. 3-2 delivery on the way, and Longoria fouls it back with a full throttle effort right there.
Yeah, might have gotten Ed Hickox. And
got a little mano going on right now.
Well, triple digits, and he had a pretty good swing at it.
Longoria obviously teeing up on the fastball. Manny Machado at third. Moving in a bit. That one right off the home plate umpire's mask. So we'll do it again. Longoria will wait on the second 3-2. And takes it. And that'll load him up.
No, that's what I was talking about. Either make your pitch, or when a guy actually gets the bat head to 100, you figure, well, maybe I don't want to go there, so I'll throw him a breaking ball, and you don't want to hang it. So he just missed, and you got to give the Rays a lot of credit as they've inched back into this game, because they have had a lot of quality at bats against Chen, and now even Longoria against Gosman.
They were down 6-0 after 2 innings. They are trailing by 3, 6-3. Here is Desmond Jennings, the 1 for 7, 3 strikeouts against Kevin Gosman. Bases loaded. Jennings has singled and flied out to center field. Goes after it in the air. It's not deep. Shortstop back with room. Cabrera's got it, and that's the inning. So the Rays are retired. No runs. There were no hits, but a hit batter and 2 walks, and the bases were left loaded. Vacation days to good use in Ocean City, Maryland. Book now at OCOcean.com. And by Navy Federal Credit Union, proudly serving the armed forces and their families for 80 years. Barry Thorne and Jim Palmer, good ball game. Game 2 of this 3-game set. The Orioles winning the opener last night, 6-2, taking a 6-0 lead in this game. Somehow, Carnes has stayed out there on the mound. He's thrown 84 pitches, settled in after giving up 6 runs on 5 hits through the first 2 innings. He has not allowed a hit since then. In fact, the only Oriole base runner since the 2nd inning, a walk to Snyder in the 5th, and he was doubled up, so he's faced the minimum over the last 3 innings. And Chris Davis will lead it off against him here outside. Chris with a strikeout and a ground ball out tonight.
And that's why they'll get people up in their bullpen, just because you want to, if you're Kevin Cash, keep the game where it is. He really has. I mean, it's almost like somebody threw him a life preserver.
Yeah. 1-0 delivery, and that's inside and got him. Got the catcher, too. So Davis is on, hit by a pitch to lead off the inning.
Yeah, a little cut fastball. You could see him trying to come in. He pulls it. Hits him right above the left knee.
Number 13, Manny Machado.
I think if I hit somebody with a 93 mile, I at least want him to rub it. He didn't even, just went down there.
You don't rub it in baseball. There are no tears and no rubbing where
Yeah,
you get
that's
hit by a
right.
pitch.
No crying.
No crying.
In spite of how much it hurts.
Yes. You're dying. Here's Manny Machado. Manny, after his first hit of the season, he's grounded out. Does have an RBI, though a sac fly came in the first inning of the ball game. And he will take the pitch inside. Orioles getting RBIs in the first. Snyder got 1. Jones with a 2 RBI double. Manny with a sac fly, and then the 2-run homer by Pearce in the second inning, accounting for the 6 runs the Orioles have in the ball game. Davis at first being held. Here's the 1-0 delivery by Carnes. He'll go for the outside corner, and he will catch it. 1 ball, 1 strike on Manny. We really got to credit this 27-year-old 6 major league star just battling.
Well, I was talking to a lot of the people, and again, you mentioned the fact he was 27. He was all ears in spring training because he knows it's a great opportunity. That was, again, one of our keys with all the injuries. Certainly didn't want to start out like he did. But I think you've seen the fact that he does have a lot of natural ability. Now, whether he can hone that into what you need to do to be a starter at this level,
gonna find out.
Yeah.
2 ball, 1 strike count. Davis not going anywhere at first. Hard shot right to second. There's 1. Beckham makes the play, and there's 2.
Yeah, down when you can throw the lone away fastball. One of the reasons the Orioles were so good last year is because can you really command your stuff down in the zone? And right there, that ball hit very sharply, but on the turf here, easy 4 to 6 to 3 double play.
So 2 down, bases empty. And Ryan Flaherty playing at second in the game. He has flied out, grounded out. 1 for 6, a home run so far in the 2 games played. Flaherty really working on shortening up that swing with Hardy out. He's gotten to play both short and second here in the first 2 games. 2 down, nobody on. Hands quiet, holding the bat down a little bit more. Scott Kuba in batting practice this week started with Ryan working the first 2 times around in batting practice. He does not move his front foot. He holds the front foot on the ground, no step, no lift, in order to get the bat quicker, said Scott, through the strike zone. Then the 3rd and 4th times in BP, then he'll move that front leg a little bit.
Yeah, you get a little toe tap.
Just trying to shorten it up, make it quick,
so
drive the ball.
Let me see. Who comes to mind that never moved their front foot? Who happens to manage now the Twins in the Hall of Fame? Paul Molitor.
Paul Molitor, yeah.
And then Garcia Parra of the Red Sox. Never really, just hit it. He kind of turned it a little bit. Well, one of the keys, and we were kind of talking about, Bob Watson once said, when the ball is coming out of the hand, you need to be able to time it where you can get your front foot down. So if you don't move it a lot, it's a lot easier to get it down.
He's a very good fastball hitter, Scott said, of Flaherty. He said there's no reason he should be missing fastballs except for the long swing when the stride is too long. So if I can shorten that up, if he can shorten it up, get that bat quicker through, he said he's going to hit the fastball. And Scott's worked with him all spring, not just him, a couple of other players as well on doing that and getting that nice, short, compact
See, and then when you do that, you can hit the fastball. You can wait a little more on the breaking ball.
Yes. That will just miss, and he's on with a walk with 2 down.
Well, the other thing about Flaherty is that he started the last 2 years at 0 for 17. So that home run yesterday, that's
got rid of that.
A reason to go home and celebrate, watch the basketball game.
So that's going to be it for Carnes. Yeoman's effort, 95 pitches thrown And McCash goes out to get him. He has given his club a chance to get back into the ball game. They have, and we'll go to the pen. And the damage done in the first 2 innings.
Yep, showed good stuff. Bad command early on, really settled down, and we've talked about it many times. They're at a point only 3 runs down as Grant Balfour will come on. Saw him yesterday. 65 games last year. Did not have a good year. A couple of 5-run innings, something he had never done in his career. 2 years removed with Oakland having 38 saves. And the Orioles, they explored a 2-year deal and didn't think that the elbow physical came out the way they wanted, and he became a Ray. Struggled last year, though.
Flaherty on at first base with 2 down. Joseph, who's drawn a walk and scored and struck out, stands in. He's faced Balfour only once, 1 for 1 against him. Shift all the way on against him, and I mean all the way around. Up the middle and over to first base is wide open.
So it tells you, I mean, you look at your outfield is straight away, maybe even a step or so to right field. And then the scouts tell you, well, when he hits the ball on the ground, he pulls it.
1-0 count. And he'll take that. And Balfour will miss that again. And the count goes to 2-0. Balfour came on to get the 1 out against Delman Young in the ball game last night. And on again here, looking for a big out to hold the Orioles down with 2 away, nobody on in the runner on here in the 6th inning. Set up. Rivera wants it away. It's against the defense, but it's fouled away. And 2-ball, 1 strike count.
Yeah, you can see it pretty much in the middle of the plate. Likes to get the arms extended. Of course, if you talk to him, he said, boy, I'd be a much better hitter if I hit the ball the other way. And of course, he doesn't. And that's why they play him that way.
Exactly.
It's almost like sometimes you have all the answers to your problems, or you have the answers to your, or the solutions to your problems, and you're going,
can I execute?
Well, that is it.
Can I execute? Yeah. 2-1.
I love that term. It used to be, it just made a horrible pitch. Now it's, I didn't execute my pitch.
Here's the 2-1 delivery on the way. Foul back.
To me,
again.
that has a real bad connotation if you are old and you came where they used to have an electric chair and all that kind of stuff. Execute is not the way I want to talk about. I just made a bad pitch. It was horrible. It was one of the worst pitches I ever made.
You may have felt like that sometimes when you didn't execute.
Well, I had to walk back to the bench with Weaver standing over there. Yeah. That's like an
the
execution.
Equivalent of the chair.
Yeah.
2-1. Oh my Lord. 2-2 delivery on the way, and that'll be outside. Good block again by Rivera. So a 3-ball, 2-strike count. Let's see whether Flaherty will go here with 2 down. Foresight is checking to see if they want him to hold at first base. And they do. They don't want to give Rays. They don't want to give him the big jump at first. So Forsythe will stay on the bag, especially with a right-handed hitter who pulls balls on the ground here.
Well, any ball up the gap here, if you give him too much of a lead with 2 outs, he's going to score.
Runner goes, foul back off Rivera.
See, if you watch, Grant Balfour, he started with the Twins all the way, at least in the big leagues, in 2001. We saw him in Milwaukee, saw him in Tampa, saw him in Oakland. He used to probably be in the mid-90s. So now it's what, about 90?
So you couldn't do that if you tried.
No.
You could not make a baseball do that if you tried. Catcher, umpire.
And you could see him stagger back. And the last time it looked like the ball actually was fouled off the side of his helmet. This time,
a little concern.
Yeah.
That's twice now that Hickox, the home plate umpire, has had a ball come. The first one was right straight back off the front of his mask that he took on a foul ball, and that one ricocheted, but boy, it was coming.
Well, I was talking to John Jaso, who was a catcher. We saw him as a DH yesterday until he injured his wrist sliding into second base. And I said, how have you reacted from the concussion? He said, I didn't catch all spring. And he said, when you get concussions, he said, you just don't know how you're going to react to the next one.
And there is a cumulative effect, of course, that we've discovered.
And I think that was his point. Yeah, and he said, the one 2 years ago might have been worse.
Yeah. That's why high school football is such a disaster for kids. And I played, and I know. I took a few, and I remember now, and I think about that. And now I know why I'm the way I am. A 3-ball, 2-strike count, 2 down on Caleb Joseph. Runner on at first base, Flaherty. He was going on that last 3-2. Infield stays in that big shift. Flaherty off. Ball launched to center, but it's at him. And it's caught. Kiermaier's there to put it away. No runs, no hits, no errors. One left. Good ball game. Orioles up by 3.
success, 4 runs, 4 hits. And that'll make it 4-0. And then the Orioles in the second comes back, second home run of the season by Steve Pearce. Fastball, hanging curveball today. And then the early exit after the 6-0 lead. The Rays have some good at bats. Foresight hits the home run, and then Gosman comes out of the pen at the 12th uprising. So here are your 2 starters. Chen does not qualify for the win if the Orioles end up winning this game. Carnes settles down. And those are your Geico highlights. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote.
Logan Forsythe against Kevin Gosman. Forsythe home run, 4th inning. Couple of RBIs. Longoria came in ahead of him. He's also flied out to right field. Triple-digit fastballs in that last inning by Gosman after coming out of the bullpen. Kevin on now with a chance to be a winning pitcher in this ball game. We'll see how this thing continues on. The Orioles getting those runs in the first 2 innings, not since, and 1 in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th for the Rays.
Yeah, so you get all that adrenaline rush. Looking at Steve Pearce already with another home run today, 2-run shot, and now you have to go sit down, and now you have to take your deep breath and start pitching. I think there's a tendency, especially with his stuff, you can maybe overthrow or throw your way out of an inning. Now you have to pitch.
3-0. Falls behind here on the first batter he's facing in the bottom of the 6th inning. You got Rivera and Beckham due up. Bottom part of the order for the Rays. 3-0 count. He's got to take here. Try and get a base runner on. They've had the potential tying run to the plate once in the game and 4 out of the strike zone. 2 walks surrendered by Gosman. This one a leadoff walk. Opening week will continue at Oriole Park as the Birds host the arch-rival Yankees next Monday through Wednesday. Good seats remain for each game in the series, including the year's first Ollie's Bargain Night, presented by Ollie's Bargain Outlet on Tuesday. All upper reserve seats are just $10 when purchased in advance. For tickets, go to Orioles.com or call 888-848-BIRD. The Rays again start an inning out, leadoff man on. Rivera has grounded out, flied out. Rene Rivera goes after the first one, the heater at 96, and can't catch up to it. Talking about the Orioles at home, news regarding ticket pricing around the majors. The Orioles in great shape for their fans is what's called the Fan Cost Index. The Orioles have the 4th lowest dollar figure for fan value going to the ballpark at Camden Yards. The cost index for tickets, if you talk about 4 average price tickets, 2 small draft beers, 4 soft drinks, 4 hot dogs, parking, and 2 adult size caps, is $211. That's the average. The Orioles, for all of that, $164.
Now, who's the highest?
Pretty good deal.
Does it tell you?
Red Sox.
Yeah.
Red Sox are the highest in just about every category, even higher than the Yankees for premium tickets. Tried to hold up, did he? Check swing. They want to go to first on this, and he did go. Paul Nort down there.
Yeah, 98, couple of big hacks, and then
big call.
goes a couple of miles per hour harder, and this is what they're looking at. Yep. Ooh. Now, that was a quick bat, just trying to stay alive, and pretty good acting there. Almost got away with it until they asked for a little help from Paul Newart down at first.
Tell you about the average ticket price, the report said, for premium tickets. Now, these are your best seats in the house. The average around baseball is $97. The Yankees, $305. San Diego, $41, the lowest. Pitch will be taken for a strike on the inside corner. Beckham, Tim Beckham up. Beckham has struck out and flied out.
Well, the Red Sox, now you can see some of the contracts, whether your Rusney Castillo got $72 million. Yoan Moncada, 19-year-old kid out of Cuba, got 31 plus the $31 million bonus, or actually I guess penalty for exceeding the international signing limit or threshold. And then yesterday the Porcello contract, $82.5 million. Not to mention the 12.5 they own him out. And then when Ben Cherington was asked, the vice president or general manager, what do you? I mean, you must figure he's an elite pitcher. And he goes, "Oh, he's really good." Well, he ought to be, and he was. He won 15 games last year for him.
0-2 delivery, ground ball is going to go to short. Cabrera has trouble getting out of the glove. Flaherty quick turn, not in time. They will get the lead runner Foresight.
Yeah, and that's what you're looking for. I mean, he gets it. Again, this is such a fast field because of the turf. You have a 3-run lead. You are looking for outs. So right there's what you were talking about, Gary. And right there, if you're Ryan Flaherty, you know that you're not going to double him up. I need to catch it. Cabrera gets the lead runner. I'm not sure he could have doubled him up anyway, but certainly didn't have a chance once he had trouble getting it out of the glove.
Great speed. 2 down, though. Gosman gets Kiermaier to the plate with 2 away. Kiermaier triple, run scored 3rd inning. 1 for 2 in the ball game, 2 for 5 in the series. Another speedster at the plate. Kiermaier takes it inside, 97.
And that really wasn't that far inside, but when you're trying to cover the outside corner, I mean, how do you hit? You hit with your legs, and they're your foundation. So he's trying to keep the front shoulder in. He gets the foot down, and then, I mean, it's inside, but he's not going to get hit with that. Not 97.
1-0 count. Something we just don't see very often that we used to always see in baseball. That kind of a jackknife away from a pitch used to be. That's how you kept hitters' feet moving. Don't let them settle in. If they did, that's the kind of pitch that would get thrown, only even further inside and make a move.
You make them dance.
Yep.
And, the intention is not to hurt them.
2-0 count. And that one is in there for a strike.
I saw that when Rafael Palmeiro had some outstanding years with the Orioles, and that's what they try to do. They try to move his feet. If they happen to hit him in the ankle or the kneecap, they have it better than a home run into the flag court, and then they try to go soft away. I mean, it is part of the game to pitch off the plate. Guys don't like you to do it.
No.
Just
don't
go ahead, honey. No.
Anymore. 2-ball, 1 strike count. Kevin Gosman ready in the delivery, and there's another one that's going to come inside. He garners your attention at 97 when you're in the batter's box. 3-ball, 1 strike count. Brandon Guyer, the leadoff batter, is waiting on deck. Runner on at first. 2 down. Orioles having to claw away here in the middle part of this ball game after that 6-0 lead got reduced to 6-3. 3-ball, 1 strike, runner not going. Ball launched in the air to center. Jones going back 4-0-4 to deep center, way back. Goodbye home run. Whoa! Boy, did he drive that one. Kiermaier, a 2-run homer, and it's a 1-run game.
Well, they always talk when you go get a bagel in New York, it's about the water. A lot of times in Major League Baseball, it's about the count. So it doesn't matter if you're throwing 96, 97. If you get behind, he looks fastball, and then he gets one right down the center of the plate.
So Kiermaier, a big night, and again, it's one of those players who wasn't even supposed to be in the lineup. He's got a triple and a homer, 2 runs scored and 2 RBIs. It's a 6-5 Orioles lead. And the pitch on the inside corner to Guyer.
So here's 3-1. He's looking fastball, and you really can't split the plate anymore. He just belts it. I asked him, we were talking about it yesterday during the game. I asked him before the game, I said, all of a sudden, 21 extra base hits in the first 2 months? He said, hurt my hand in the minor leagues. Bigger, stronger.
He is that.
Yeah.
And he's the number 9. He's a leadoff batter in the number 9 spot. Kevin Cash, like a number of managers, when you've got 2 options for leadoff batters, which they do, try and put one down in the 9 spot, one up top. Kiermaier, as we said, not in the lineup tonight. Loney was in, had a tweak in his right side, came out. Kiermaier was added. And how many times have we said a player who's not expected to play and then inserted in the lineup has the big ball game? Kiermaier has. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Brandon Guyer hit by a pitch his last time up, 0 for 2. He's the DH. There are 2 down. Big 2-out homer. Make it a 1-run game each team now with 5 hits. A little tapper on the, I guess I better swing, and it's 1-2.
Well, they described the Rays as one of those fixer-upper kinds of team, and one of the writers today. I mean, just saying that they needed to kind of reinvent themselves. So you used to come down here, they would pitch you to death. Then they would run you out of the ballpark if they could. Great defensive club. So Kevin Cash talking down at the cage, with us today, saying, well, we need to pitch well. We have to play good defense. And
reared back at 97 and got him for the strikeout, but a couple of runs in. 1 hit, no errors, nobody left on base. Orioles lead now cut to 1. Orioles and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Baltimore Orioles. So the Oriole fans settling in along with the Rays fans here in what has become a very interesting ball game. 6-5-0 the O's, 5-5-0 for the Rays. Belfour on in relief, getting the final out in the 6th inning, will stay on. Carnes charged the starter with the 6 runs on 5 hits over 5 2/3. Cabrera batting 9th, 0 for 2. He has struck out, grounded out. De Aza, then Pearce due up for the Orioles against Belfour, the right-hander. Shows bunt and will take the pitch for a strike.
Yeah, he really made good pitches yesterday, and as we mentioned, velocity not where he was at age 37. A lot of innings. Also some elbow problems, but he's at a point where he can pitch. And now Kevin Cash, with the bullpen going on behind him, can now sequence his way through the later innings. At least
that one punched into left field. He's got a base hit on that one. So Cabrera picks up his first hit of the season, a leadoff single here in the 7th inning. Just fought that one off. Steve Geltz is in the bullpen for the Rays. He pitched in the opener yesterday.
He was pretty good. Faced 4 batters, struck them all out.
Well, the Orioles now, these aren't tack-on runs anymore. These are essential runs if they can get them late in the ball game.
Well, you have speed and you have somebody. I mean, you have the hole. You're going to have to hold them on. And as we mentioned, Balfour, maybe you can get a ball you can hit into right field.
De Aza is 3 for 5 lifetime off Belfour, and a good lead at first. Runner not going. Longoria at third, playing for the bunt, which De Aza does not show on there. And a 1-0 count. Longoria is not going to move. Staying right there. Nope. Now he backs up a little bit.
Well, a lot of times, especially as you look at the defense, you will not steal until you get one out, and the reason for that is you want to have that first base hole, and then if you have somebody who can steal base, and as we mentioned, Cabrera 30-40 steals in 2 of his 6 years with San Diego, has the ability to do that. Now you also have a good catch and throw guy. Rivera threw out 33% of the runners that tried to.
Ooh, he almost had him. He was leaning. He was still getting his lead, a walk-off lead, and now Cash is coming out of the dugout saying, wait a minute.
It's going to be pretty close.
He's waiting for his replay official to tell him whether or not to go ahead and challenge here.
And he doesn't have to come out. He can just kind of point. And
he said, go ahead.
There he
They're
is.
not gonna. That was close.
Yeah, maybe Loney, of course, if he plays, maybe you don't get Kiermaier hitting all the hits, but a left-handed fielding first baseman, it would have been a little bit closer to the throw.
De Aza will shorten it up by a half a step now. The delivery is going to be outside. Stolen base wise for Cabrera last year, he was 18 for 26 with San Diego. And there are the numbers. 78% effective in his career. Major League statisticians say if you're not 75% effective as an individual or a player, don't bother stealing.
Yeah, the first time I ever really heard that was when Davey Johnson managed the Mets. Of course, he had a lot of guys that could hit home runs, but he had some guys that could run a little bit. And he said, yeah, as long as you can be up there 75, 80%, it's not a bad play. I'm sure that people would say probably now with all the number guys, well, maybe it's not worth it.
It is all about, does it help to manufacture a run or not? And if it's below 75% historically, it doesn't help you. Pitch is taken. The count goes to 3-1. Looking down to Bobby Dickerson at third base with a sign here. De Aza. Lead shortened up by a full step now by Cabrera. Now he lengthens it out a bit. He's back to where he was, and there he goes. Here's the throw down. Rivera right on the money, but off the end of the glove.
Yeah, but it was ball 4 anyway.
And he walked him, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, one of the problems, if you come up in front of the umpire, and Ed Hickox has had a small strike zone, there's no possible way of getting the pitch called a strike. I think it was outside anyway, but he stood right up in front of him, and he kind of took any chance of getting that called strike 2.
So Kevin Cash is on his way out. Belfour will be coming out of the ball game responsible for 2 base runners who are on, and the Orioles have a chance to add to what is now a 1-run lead.
Well, he was 4 for 4, faced 4 batters yesterday, struck them all out, and of course we saw him when he pitched with the Angels, and one of those guys, 7 minor league, they hit under 200 at 198, obviously a glowing number, and then per 9 innings, 11 strikeouts yesterday. Good changeup, good slider. Man, made some really good pitches down in the zone at 92. So he showed that you can't really look for any one pitch off him.
So here is Pearce with runners on at first and second base. 6-5 Orioles lead, 7th inning. Steve has already delivered a single, a home run, 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored. Homer last night, homer tonight. And the Orioles will try and make a go of it here and have an inning with nobody out here in the 7th inning. Geltz will have the shift on in the infield behind him. Hold that runner real close at second base, Cabrera. Right-hander will turn around and take a look at him.
Yeah, it's almost like he didn't want to pitch to him because he didn't have a big lead. Beckham is playing right behind him. I mean, there they are. They can be holding hands. They're so close to each other.
Orioles 2 for 3 with runners in scoring position in the game, coming back in the first 2 innings. Else with that very high set and a long hold and a timeout asked for at the plate and granted by Ed Hickox. Too long for Pearce, staying in that set position.
Well, it's almost like they want to see if Steve Pearce is bunting. I don't think that's the case.
We'll be surprised. First delivery on the way. Breaking ball is going to be outside, snagged by Rivera. Take a look at our Jeep inside the numbers as Steve Pearce continues to produce the big numbers. The OPS, on base plus slugging.
I mean, that's some pretty heady company right there. Trout, MVP, Batista, Abreu. Before he got tired, looked like he was going to lead the world in everything, and then Victor Martinez flat out hit.
1-0 count. Again, Cabrera is not far off the bag. He can't be, of course, with the shortstop, second baseman.
Well, I just don't understand this. I could see maybe some trepidation pitching to Pearce, but
bullpen remains active for the Rays. Pearce will take that pitch. That's going to miss outside.
Yeah, the one thing, and not taking anything away from Steve Geltz because he made a lot of great pitches, but it's a little bit more difficult to do it the second day. Number one, they've seen you. Number two, you have to go back out there. But again, 4 batters, 4 strikeouts, and he made some really good pitches yesterday.
Bullpen last year for the Rays, 10th in ERA in the American League. And that pitch is going to miss. So Geltz comes on and does not throw a strike in the first 3 to Pearce. 3-0 with the middle of the order. Snyder, then Jones, due up for the Orioles here in the 7th inning.
And does he have the red light?
Yes.
Or the green light, I mean.
I give him a green light. Going to put the ball in the air, probably. Let's see. 3-0 count. Runners off first and second, and that's a strike up and in at the letters. 3-1.
Yeah, it's one of those fastballs. I don't think even if he was going to hit, I mean, certainly loads, that ball just kind of exploded on him. I think Geltz has one of those windups where you don't see it real well. It's not about the velocity, it's about the deception.
3 ball, 1 strike count. Where the lead at second base, that one out in front of it, fouled off at 81 miles an hour, so he changed up on him, and now 3-2. Beliveau is in the bullpen. Same grouping we saw pitch last night. Of course, about everybody pitched.
Yeah, well, we talked about it. Yeah.
Beliveau.
Yeah, Snyder is on deck, and Travis had the double off him on a hanging curveball. So Kevin Cash has everybody at least where he can sequence his way through the late innings.
3-2. Pearce waiting on it. Full count delivery. A ground ball is going to go to short. Chance for 2. Trouble out of the glove.
Oh, he might have been safe.
Oh, he got him.
Ooh.
Call Beckham holding the bag with his foot as Cabrera had trouble getting it out of his glove and then made a weak toss to second base. So the force out will put runners at first and third.
Yeah, Beckham is anticipating maybe turning it over. Can't really see from that angle. This will be perfect. Yeah, maybe the toe stays on, and of course the Orioles will look at that.
But I think they would have turned 2 even if clean. That ball was not hit very hard. Nice pirouette. One down. Here's Travis Snider. First and third. Snider a base hit and a couple of walks. His on base percentage soaring in the first 2 games. Big potential out there now for the Orioles. Can Snider come through again?
Oh, you've seen it already twice tonight, where you have a runner at third, less than 2 outs. What are you trying to do? Stay out of the double play. Of course, Geltz is trying to get a ground ball, one of his infielders. Adam Jones hit a double that got him in, and then Manny Machado with the sacrifice fly back in inning number 2.
264 last year. Runners in scoring position for Snider. He's very patient up there. Takes it up high, and again Geltz falls behind. A 2-0 count with Jones waiting on deck, looking for the double play ground ball. But for Snider, it's get that run in at third anyway, anyhow. Situational hitting that they worked on and do every day in batting practice. And that pitch will miss. So the count goes 3-0, and Geltz a little upset with himself after that. Cannot find the strike zone. Hitter in the middle and the runners at the corners. Cabrera, Steve Pearce. 3-0. Snider will go after it, and late on the 91-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah, he was just trying to get it in the air somewhere. And if you're Steve Geltz, you're going, what, Jones on deck? Is he swinging? Well, the answer is yes.
That many more chances to put a ball in play and get the run in.
But he gets to see 4 pitches to get to this count. And again, it doesn't mean he's going to get a good pitch to hit. The chances are enhanced.
3-ball, 1-strike count. Off first and third, foul back. Geltz comes in and gets it full. 3-2. This game has been such a battle after the first 2 innings with that 6-0 lead. The Orioles on top, and since then it has been a grinded out ball game. 3-2, 1 down. Outfield very deep. We're at third, Pearce on at first.
Well, it's about adding runs when you get the very early lead, and the Orioles, at least to this point, haven't been able to do it.
3-2 delivery on the way. Ground ball to first, and that will be foul. Just missed over the head of Foresight at first base.
Yeah, and I think Steve Geltz, and he's been around the block enough. See Kevin Jepson, who they got from the Angels, trading Matt Joyce over there. But he almost has an open base in the sense he's just not going to put something in the middle of the plate, even though Adam Jones is on deck.
And 3-2 will come again. Else delivers, and the bases are loaded.
And the reason he didn't start the runner is because you don't want to strike him out, throw him out with Jones waiting on deck. So he ends up walking him, and it's kind of a moot point as Kevin Hickey's getting a lot of mileage. The Rays pitching. That's what the fourth
time out.
Yeah, fourth time out.
3 out with the starter, Carnes, and now out again here with Geltz, and they'll talk about how they're going to work to Adam Jones. So Snider on with 3 walks in the ball game. His last 3 at bats. That's the first 3-walk game that Snider has had in his major league career. On base all 4 times in this ball game. He's gone 4 for 5. A couple of RBIs, 3 walks in the 2 games. So Hickey has his say, and a moment of decision.
Well, they go back over the scouting reports. It's rather obvious what Adams wants to do. He wants to get a ball he can hit in the air, drive somewhere. That'll get a run in, maybe do more damage. And the Rays are looking for a ground ball, strike out. And the only way that can happen is if Geltz gets ahead, which he hasn't been able to do.
1 grand slam in his career. Cabrera, Pearce, Snider, the base runners, with the infield looking for 2. Adam Jones goes after it, drills it down the line, and it is a foul ball into the Vino section of the crowd at the picnic tables, and a 1-strike count.
Well, they're trying to get it in, and he doesn't do it. I mean, it's out over the plate, and you can see how quick Adam Jones hopes that maybe, but he hooked it foul.
Adam got the double in the first inning and his first 2 RBIs of the year. He was grounded out, hit into a double play. 6-5. Orioles lead it by 1 in the 7th. 1 out. Bases loaded. Geltz delivers to him. Up high, 90 miles an hour. 0-2.
Well, you can look at the strike zone as a rectangle. Can you hit the corners? Can you hit up and in? Well, he did there. Saw him hit down and away yesterday. So like we said, now he'll go hunting a strikeout.
Delivery on the way to Jones, and he'll put that one up into the rafters and the lights, and it'll come down and be a souvenir. The Orioles get Darren O'Day up in the bullpen. Long inning. Kevin Gosman gave up a couple of runs in the 6th inning. Now again a discussion here in this 0-2 count as to where they want to throw, what they want to throw, and where they want to throw it.
Yeah, you really don't have to worry with Rivera behind the plate. It's been an upgrade defensively that if you're going to throw a breaking ball, you don't have to be afraid about bouncing it. Both catchers tonight have done a nice job of keeping balls in front of them. I mean, one of the important factors here is that Travis Snyder, they're playing behind him, is that he gets a good lead and maybe breaks up a double play.
0-2 delivery on the way to Jones, and a swing and a chopper to short. This is Cabrera. This is Beckham. That's 2. Yelts works his way out of it. A big double play. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. A couple left on base. It remains 6-5 O's.
Well, 6-3 becomes 6-5. Leadoff walk to Foresight, who already hit a 2-run home run. Then Kiermaier just belts it. Kevin Gosman now in his 3rd inning of work with Darren O'Day of the Orioles getting loose down in the left field line here. So a lot of stuff going on. 6-0 is now 6-5.
Orioles have stranded the 2 in scoring position that last half inning, 4 in the ball game. Oriole fans on the edge of their seats now. 7th inning stretch time as we go to the bottom half. 6-5, and Kevin Gosman will have to work 2, 3, 4 here in the order. Souza has drawn a walk, grounded out twice, has picked up an RBI on one of those ground ball outs. To be followed by Cabrera and then Evan Longoria. Steven Souza Jr. Defense straight up against him, and the pitch will be on the inside corner for a strike. Tampa Bay team battling back to put themselves within 1 after trailing 6-0 after the first 2 innings. On the way doing that one's going to skip, and a 1-ball 1-strike count. Kevin Gosman on for Wei-Yin Chen, 4 1/3 with 3 runs on 4 hits, couple of walks, 4 strikeouts for Chen in the ball game. Carnes got hit hard, the Rays starter, and then settled in. 6 runs, 5 hits over 5 2/3. 1-1 delivery on the way, and that's going to miss outside at 96. 2-1.
Well, Joe Dillon managed down at AAA Syracuse, and that was Steven Souza, and he said one of those rare guys with speed and power. And we'll see. He predicted the type of power and speed that he could be a 30-30 guy, but that's got to get here. He's done that. Now you got to prove that you can hit at this level. But he did everything you could possibly do last year to prove that he's ready for the big leagues.
2-ball, 1-strike count. And that one will be fouled back. Came in and challenged him with that fastball. And the count goes to 2-2. Cash, of course, is after his first major league win. His first managerial duty. Well, the Orioles hanging on looking. Scope. Jimenez on the right. Waldo Jimenez going to start in the rotation. Game number 5. 2-2 delivery on the way, and that's there, and he got him. Kevin Gosman on location with that heater.
Well, that's important. In spite of the velocity, I think the ball may be a little bit straight if he gets it up in the middle of the plate. That's not the case here. Now he misses his target, but again, 97. You can see Caleb Joseph sitting on the outside corner. Ball ran across the plate, but with great late life.
So he records his 4th strikeout. 1 down, 7th inning. Asdrubal Cabrera coming up. Golden sombrero opportunity, which he would just as soon pass up. He has struck out in the 1st, 3rd, and 5th. 1 down, nobody on. And Cabrera puts that one in the air. Right center field. Jones has it. Pitch in and out on Cabrera, and there are 2 down.
Yeah, 2 for 11 is going to get Darren O'Day as Longoria comes to the plate.
So Kevin Gosman came on to get the side out in the 5th inning, leaving the bases loaded. He got through the 6th after giving up the home run, 2-run shot, and now O'Day comes on. For live baseball, At Bat is up to the moment, at any moment, with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcast, statcast, and more. Just hit MLB.com at Bat for your smartphone or tablet. A lot of pacing for Buck Showalter since the 3rd inning on, and now it's O'Day.
Yeah, great year last year. Righties and lefties really didn't matter. More strikeout innings pitched, not too many walks. So again, this is a game of matchup. You bring in a guy that's going to match up if he can against Longoria. Never hit a home run. 2 for 11 lifetime.
Longoria with the bases empty and 2 down here in the 7th inning. Single in the 4th inning scored. Couple of walks on 3 times in the ball game. O'Day's delivery to him is a strike. Darren came on to work in the ball game for Chris Tillman yesterday. And recorded the final out 3rd of an inning. Gave up 1 hit, nothing across against him. Longoria, the ever dangerous, of course, with that long ball, getting a home run in the opener for the Rays. O'Day will turn him around with the inside pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike. Veteran Darren O'Day, so important to the success of the Orioles bullpen that ranked 3rd in ERA last year.
Well, he gives you a guy that can go multiple innings, get righties and lefties out, a little bit like Tommy Hunter.
1-1 delivery. That's to left and a running catch for De Aza. That'll retire the side. 1-2-3 7th. We go to the 8th. Orioles up 6-5. Of the season, Orioles have a 6-5 lead, and the Rays go deeper into the bullpen.
Yeah, the hard-throwing right-hander, big overhand curveball. 74 games for the Angels last year, low ERA. And you can see again a guy that can strike you out. Neither righties, lefties having a lot of success, a little bit, at least from the power side. The left-handers with the 3 home runs, a little higher batting average. So it seems like every year Tampa, they go out, and how did they get him? They gave up Matt Joyce, who was always a thorn in the Orioles side, left-handed hitter.
30 years old,
yeah.
A veteran, and gives some real added veteran depth to that bullpen. Well, let's see what the Orioles can do against him, as Yelts worked an inning. He walked 1, didn't give anything up. Belfour, 3rd of an inning, a hit and a walk. Now the Orioles with a shift on. We'll have Davis leading it off. Davis hit by a pitch. Last time up, he is struck out, grounded out. Chris back in the lineup, looking for his first hit of the season. He's taking some big cuts, and the pitch taken away for a ball. We're in the 8th inning. Outfield very deep, as you would expect. Don't want anything in the gaps here if you can cut it off. Fouled back on the cut, 1-1.
Well, I thought it was kind of interesting. Chris, in your interview, at least in the pregame, was talking about because of the oblique injury. Early on, the average was good. Home runs were down, but they're always going to be down if he hit 53, because that could be his career year. And then had trouble pulling the ball. And right there was a good 94 on the inside half, and he had a nice swing to it. It was very short. Loves the ball out over the plate.
1-1 delivery on the way. Another big cut on a 95-mile-an-hour pitch. We saw Chris able to pull some pitches in spring training games, which is always hard to judge, that were up and in fastballs, which he did not do much of last year. A good sign in that regard. Here's the 1-2 delivery by Jepson, and that one will be fouled off and will hold the count at a ball and 2 strikes. 6-6-0 for the Orioles, 5-5-0 for the Rays. 5 left on by the Rays, 4 by the Orioles. Scott Coolbaugh, another of the hitters he's worked with, is the Orioles hitting coach this season. Again, to free Chris up from those pitches up and in that we're getting him. 1-2 delivery on the way, and that's way up high.
Well, you can see they don't want to be down in the zone. That's why Rivera giving them the high target. And they did throw him 1 breaking ball. You know, you think it's a good breaking ball, but if it ends up in the middle of the plate down with his strength, a lot of those balls go out of the ballpark.
2-2. Jepson's delivery to him. Chris will take it, and it's full.
Yeah,
so a 3-ball, 2-strike count.
Well, 2013, what he hit 3 home runs in the first series down here. He took a fastball about 3 inches off the plate, hit it about 390 to left center off of Hellickson. Jake McGee, who was a hard-throwing lefty, took him deep into right field. On his way to 53 home runs and 138 RBIs.
3-2 delivery to him, and he'll foul that one back. He has not taken an easy swing in any of the at-bats he's had in this ball game, and that's understandable. The adrenaline's got to be flowing for him, and he doesn't take many easy swings anyway, but he's really tried to launch a couple of shots here in the at-bats he's had here in his return to the Orioles tonight. 3-2 count coming again. Gibson from that first base side of the rubber will swing it in, and another one foul back.
Yeah, that's into the danger zone right there. Rivera moves up and in, 3-2. You don't want to walk him. You leave it out over the plate, and you can do tons and tons of damage.
Pearce has had 16 career home runs against the Rays. .238 batting average lifetime against some very good pitching, obviously, the Rays have had over their existence. 3-2 for the third time. Jepson gets it in. Ball driven to right field. Warning track. Gets in the yard, and it will be handled. Souza back to get it. 1 down, 8th inning. Catch the Mid-Atlantic Sports Report tomorrow, 5 to 6:30 before the series finale against the Rays. And get up to date on Orioles news and headlines from around the league. Tom Davis, Mel Anton, Dave Johnson, and Phil Wood. Join them all season long. And then tomorrow we'll have the wrap-up game with Miguel Gonzalez, Jake Odorizzi, 6:30 O's Extra, 7 o'clock for the ball game tomorrow. We'll see whether it's going to be a chance for the Orioles to sweep the series or whether it will be the rubber match of this 3-game set. Here's Manny Machado. Machado, an RBI sac fly, drives the ball to center field, drives it hard. Kiermaier back with room, and he's got it 400 feet away.
Yeah, Kevin Kiermaier says you got to be a real man to hit it out of here in center field. Of course, he did that. Okay, you can see the right hand just kind of seeing where the wall is, and then he takes a look.
So Machado retired, and there are 2 down on a couple of fly balls. That'll bring Ryan Flaherty to the plate. Drew a walk his last time up. 0 for 2 is grounded out, flied out. 2 down, nobody on in the 8th inning. Shift on against Flaherty. Jepson's pitch tailing away for a strike on the swing. Flaherty 0 for 2 against him. Orioles Brian Mattis, left-hander in the bullpen. And the 0-1 delivery. Flaherty will take it. It's in there for a strike.
Yeah, change up breaking ball. He talked about it. Try to stay away from the fastball if you can with Ryan. And Jepson's been able to do it.
So up at the count, 0-2 with 2 down. Jepson comes into him, teasing a little bit with that pitch. It's down low, 1-2.
Well, this was one of those trades, Kevin Jepson for Matt Joyce. As it turns out, Joyce is going to really help the Angels because of the Josh Hamilton, the shoulder injury, and he's not going to be suspended. But they need outfield help.
1-2. Flaherty takes. 2-ball, 2-strike count. Orioles have had 1 hit since the 2nd inning. Cabrera's single came in the 7th. Buck Showalter's done a lot of pacing. Watching the Rays come back. Ground ball into the shift. It'll go to Beckham at second in the outfield. And a 1-2-3 inning. Orioles are retired. So we'll go to the bottom half of the 8th. The O's on top by 1. Brian Mattis is ready if needed. Lead, looking to make it 2-0 at the beginning of this season, but it has not come easy. Darren O'Day, who came on to get the final out in the 7th inning, will stay on, and Mattis will stay ready in the bullpen for the left-hander.
Yeah, the only really, Loney has a home run off him. He had the oblique pull. It was going to start the game. And then Kiermaier 2 for 3. So you got 3 righties, and then you get to the number 9 hitter already with a triple and a home run tonight. So that'll be, I would imagine, where you'll see Brian Maddox if you get to him this inning.
Desmond Jennings has a 1 for 3, picking up a base hit in the 2nd inning. A couple of hits and 6 at bats in the first 2 games of this series. Even with the bag at third, Manny Machado. Bottom of the 8th inning, he does show bunt and will take the pitch outside for a ball.
Well, that's good baseball because you bring Manny in, better chances of hitting it by him, enhances that.
Manny now even with the bag at third. Jennings 2 for 13 off O'Day. Will take the pitch. That's there for a strike. 1-1. Kevin Gosman, 2 runs, a hit, and 2 in the 3rd innings with a couple of walks, 4 strikeouts in relief of Chen. Now O'Day. Jennings waits on it, and it will miss down low. And the count's at 2-1. Had a lot of good at bats here in the first 2 games by both ball clubs. You've seen some pretty good patience, especially for early in the season, by hitters who've taken counts deep. Foresight waiting on deck. 2-ball 1-strike delivery, and that's fouled off late on it.
Yeah, I think that has a lot to, at least when you talk to the 2 clubs, the spring training, I think most managers think it might be a little bit too long for everybody, but maybe your pitching staff. So the hitters, they were ready 10 days ago. I mean, they're anxious to get to a point where the bats would count and try to do some damage.
2-ball 2-strike count. And inside to him. Right up by the hands. So a full count, 3-2. They're challenging him inside.
Well, the difficulty here is because Desmond Jennings can run a little bit. And you know, if you've seen him, even though he's never hit a home run off you, he's a good high ball, middle of the plate hitter.
3-2 delivery on the way. Ground ball to third base. Machado scoops. Gets it.
Yeah, it's just amazing the quality of pitches your good relievers can make, and Darren O'Day certainly one of them. 3-2 breaking ball. I mean, it's not just get me over. It's a down and away breaking ball that he gets Jennings to reach for. Constantly amazed that these guys can come in clutch situations. Even more so the setup guys, because a lot of times they come in with runners on and make the quality of pitches, been able to maintain their poise and their ability to just do the job. It's not an easy one.
Logan Forsythe picked up the home run in the 4th inning that we showed you as a turning point in the game that got the Rays 2nd and 3rd runs and put them right back in the ball game. Then the home run by Kiermaier in the 6th inning brought him to within 1, which is where we are now. Forsythe also has walked and flied out. Day's delivery to him, swing and a miss. He had no chance on that one location wise, and it goes to 0-2. Forsythe has faced O'Day only once and gone 1 for 1. Forsythe hit in every spot in the lineup last year for the Rays. Here's the 0-2 delivery on the way, and that'll be outside, giving him 1 to look at. 1-2.
We talked about the opportunity because of injuries, getting to play more than just being a utility guy.
Battles at .215 career batting average against right-handed pitchers. Career average. That one laced, but it'll end up foul. A few feet down the line out in front. Count will stay at a ball and 2 strikes from O'Day.
But you could see with his back speed, he's not an automatic out. Doesn't mean you can't get him out, but it can't be just average type pitches. Looks like he's a pretty good high ball hitter.
1-2 will be coming again. And leans in, watches it go by. 2-ball 2-strike count on Forsythe. A lot of pitches thrown in this ball game by everybody. We've seen 4 on the mound for the Rays. The Orioles so far have used 3. Here's the 2-2 delivery to him, and he'll stay alive on a foul ball.
Yeah, really. You know, we talked about it. I mean, there's been such a flux of strikeouts, but at least what the Orioles struck out 11 times yesterday, but did hit 3 home runs. The Rays look like they've done a nice job of hitting the 2 strikes, really cutting down their swings.
8 strikeouts have been recorded by the Oriole pitchers in the ball game. 4 all by Carnes for the Rays, and a chopper again. So the battle goes on here as Foresight fights off some pretty good pitches. Keep it alive, just trying to get on here and get the potential go-ahead run to the plate. They have not had that in the ball game. A couple of times with a potential tying run on. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Flaherty moves over behind second base, playing him to pull even more. Reaches, pops it up. Pearce coming over, and there'll be no play. Last night they had the sellout, 31,000. Game number 2, 13,906. The announced attendance here at the Trop. Two delivery to him. Punches it in the air. Jones going back. Snyder there. And somebody caught it. I think it's Jones. Adam Jones comes away with the ball, but a little bit of a collision there between the center and right fielder, and he directs outfield activities. And Wayne Kirby won't be real happy about this.
Yeah, late jump by Adam, and then right there they just kind of hit their lower extremities, maybe the ankles. He says, I got it, but Snyder there just in case he doesn't, and then they tumble to the turf.
So the out recorded, and there are 2 down.
I mean, that is one thing you're going to have to deal with, because Markakis and Adam have been together, about 5 years now? So he's in Atlanta and got to get used to playing with a guy that's won the Gold Glove 4 times.
Here's Rivera. Rivera launches that one to center field. Jones going back. Jones has the bead on it. A running catch. And another one almost 400 feet away. And a 1-2-3 inning for O'Day, and the Orioles still on top, 6-5. Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by PNC for the achiever in you. Rays swimming about here in St. Petersburg. Gary Thorne, Jim Palmer as we go to the top of the 9th inning, and Brad Boxberger.
Well, check out those numbers right there. I mean, the all-time Most strikeouts in least amount of innings in the history of the American League. 104 strikeouts. Struck out, about 48% of the time of the batters he faced last year. He struck out the side, came in with the bases loaded in Baltimore against the Orioles on 9 pitches, struck out 3. So a marvelous year. They got him from the Padres. And if this will not be a closing situation tonight, but he can keep them close. But he will be their closer till McGee gets back.
So here in the 9th inning, let's see if the Orioles can add to their 1-run lead. Joseph will lead it off, Cabrera do, and then Diaz at the top of the order. Caleb drew a walk, scored. Goes after the first pitch to short as dribble Cabrera. A pitch and an out here in the 9th inning. Orioles closer Zack Britton in the bullpen. He appeared in the ball game yesterday in a non-save situation and worked a solid inning with a couple of strikeouts. Here's Cabrera. Cabrera base hit last time up, 1 for 3. 6-5 Orioles lead, 6-5 in hits, with the Orioles lead in that department as well. In at third base, Longoria. Pitch taken for a strike.
Well, Eberth Cabrera, they were teammates. Brad Boxberger and Eberth down in San Diego a couple of years ago. Doesn't mean you're going to be able to hit him, but you certainly know about him.
0-1 delivery. Boxberger will bounce that one a little bit low. And a 1-ball, 1-strike count from Cabrera.
Well, one of the better changeups that I've seen over the last couple of years. Great arm speed on it. Really sells it well. And then a very sneaky fastball.
1-1 delivery in the air. Left center field. Playable Jennings. 2 down. So 2 away. We'll have a moment here while security people are going to have to chase one off the field.
Wow.
And security will take care of that. Adam Jones has pointedly said, and correctly so, it was never funny when fans went out on the field. In this day and age, it's not funny at all. And it's stupid, number one, but you really risk being hurt because who knows? And Adam says anybody comes close to me out there in center field is going to get decked. I ain't asking questions first, and he's right. Alejandro De Aza coming up. A base hit, run scored in the first inning. He's drawn a walk. He is 1 for 3 in the ball game. And the pitch will be in there for a strike. 2 down, nobody on, 9th inning. Boxberger coming on, getting it done in a hurry. Jepson worked an inning, retired all 3. His bullpen has given up just 1 hit after the 5 2/3 pitch by Carnes, the starter.
You know, there's about a 13-mile-per-hour difference between that 93-mile-per-hour fastball and the 80-mile-per-hour changeup. And then the other thing, it reminds you a little of Fernando Rodney. Doesn't throw quite as hard, but there's 93 again. But again, the arm speed on the changeup, it looks exactly like the 93, and yet it's 13 miles per hour slower.
De Aza with a 2-ball, 1-strike count. Alejandro facing Boxberger for the first time. Infield shifts on him again. Off speed delivery, dropped it in at 79 and a 2-ball, 2-strike count.
And it has great depth and life, and it just runs away from the bat head because of the movement, especially away from a left-handed hitter.
Shortstop moved over behind second base, now on the other side of it, and the pitch will be away and up. Full count on De Aza, trying to keep the inning alive for Pearce, who is waiting on deck. Boxberger doesn't want to go there. The Orioles love to see Pearce get an at-bat against him here in the top of the 9th inning. There's Adam chatting with Cabrera. And a swing and a miss. He won't get that chance. Boxberger gets the strikeout of 1-2-3 inning. Bottom of the 9th. 8, 9, and 1 are due up. Oriole closer on. Has delivered the second home run of the season in the second inning. Good for 2 RBIs. He's had a couple of hits, and here's Zack Britton coming on to try and finish it up for the O's.
Yeah, I mean, he's just been outstanding. In fact, Kevin Cash and Derek Shelton, the hitting instructor, manager and hitting instructor, saying, boy, it's just amazing to watch his ball sink from the side. Last year, 37 saves. The 4 he didn't seem like they were about a month apart. He was outstanding. Started the year in the bullpen, really had to make the club because he was out of options, and those are the numbers. So you can see 75% of the balls put in play on the ground.
And we are ready to go. Beckham will stand in and the pitch away. Orioles defensive changes. Jonathan Scope has come into the ballgame to play at second base. Ryan Flaherty moves from second to short.
So remember, again, if you watch the game tonight, the strike zone maybe not as ample as it has been in other games. So you have to be able to throw it in the strike zone, and there it is.
Swing.
I mean, Kevin Cash caught for years, and he said, I just can't believe you sit over there in the dugout, you see a ball at 95, 96, and it's like the bottom drops out. And he said, I kind of wonder how he does that.
That's why the ground balls pile up for him. Beckham, a fielder's choice, scored in the 6th inning on the home run by Kiermaier. 1-1 delivery on the way. That'll miss away for Britton against Tampa Bay. Lifetime. This is his 16th game against them. He has a 2-2 record and is 5 for 6 in save situations. Rays have hit only 167 against Zack Britton. 2-ball, 1-strike delivery. Beckham will swing and miss on that one at 94.
Yeah, you think you're going to get something in the middle of the plate, and the appearance is that maybe it will be that, and then just dives down and away. And they just won a base runner. I mean,
2-ball, 2-strike count.
I mean, Beckham with 17, 20 steals at the minor league level in a couple of his years.
2-2 delivery on the way to him, swung on, fouled off. Orioles last year 32-23 in 1-run ball games, which this is right now in the bottom half of the 9th inning. Showalter sitting for one of the few times he's done since the 2nd inning. Orioles 6 runs, came 4 in the first, 2 in the second. And so far have been able to hang on. Here's the 2-2 delivery on the way, and that's outside.
Well, they get the count where they want, because you have to maybe a little bit more of the plate when you go 3-2, because that's the potential tying run at the plate.
Kevin Gosman's a potential winner in this game for the Orioles. Chen didn't go far enough to qualify, and Nathan Carnes, the starter, is the pitcher of record at the moment, at least, for the Rays. 3-2 delivery, and he got him. He tried to coax a walk on a jackknife. No dice, 1 down.
Well, you get to see 6 pitches, and 5 of them are either right on the corner or in whatever, and then he starts one at your front hip, and you give up on it, and then the ball runs back. And then it's nicely received by Caleb Joseph, leaving plenty of the plate inside third. Of course, you got a young hitter, and they're not used to seeing that.
Kiermaier, a triple and a run scored in the 3rd inning, a home run, 2 RBIs in the 6th. Manny Machado comes way in at third base. Speedster trying to get out of the way, ends up with a foul ball strike into the screen. Kiermaier to be followed by the leadoff batter, Brandon Guyer.
Yeah, what appeared to be a laugher turns out to be a nail biter. I don't think been around the game, especially Buck Showalter's been around long enough never to assume 6-0 is going to be an easy game.
And that'll just miss. Looking for his first save of the 2015 season in his 2nd appearance. As we said, non-save situation in the ball game yesterday with the 2 strikeouts that he picked up. 1-ball, 1-strike count. Kiermaier makes it down low, 2-1. Orioles trying to give themselves a chance at a sweep against the Rays in the very first game of the season, having beaten the Rays 12 out of 19 last year. Tillman getting the win on the right. Gonzalez on the left will be looking for a victory as a starter tomorrow. 2-ball, 1-strike delivery by Britton. Cut on, fouled off. 2 2 strike count. Left-hander's delivery taken, and count is full again. 3-2. Meyer had a thought about that one.
Yeah. Well, just not close enough. Again, good sink, but just a little out of the zone. And already with a triple against Chen. So he's thinking about, I mean, 95 doesn't give you a lot of time.
Got him on a swinging third strike, and there are 2 down.
So 3-2, 3-2, strikeout, strikeout. I'm sure Zack didn't want to go that deep into the count. But at the end of the day, how good is your stuff? And this stuff is just outstanding.
So that'll bring up the leadoff batter, Geyer.
That was one of those swings where your heart's in it, but maybe your rear end is not where you want it to be. And that's what he can do to a left-hander.
Geyer's 2 for 7 with a home run lifetime off Zack Britton. 2 down, nobody on. Pitch is up high for a ball. Couple of strikeouts, ground ball out, and hit by a pitch in the game. Orioles an out away from wrapping it up with the outfield backed up, covering the gaps. Infield back as well. 1-0 delivery to him. Check swing. Did he go? Yeah. Paul Neward down at first base with a call. 1-1.
This is what Paul Neward's looking at, and the bat well out in front of home plate.
Britton bringing strikes and bringing them in a hurry. 1-1. Delivery and a swing and a miss. Another one down and away in the sink. 1-2.
It's kind of tempting with Zack, who he threw some good sliders yesterday, but when your sinker is that good, just stick with it. And in the bottom, you think it's going to stay up in the zone. It just dives underneath the bat head.
Look at that movement.
Yeah.
Here's the 1-2 delivery on the way. Geyer will take it outside. So the Orioles trying to make those first 2 innings stand up offensively in this ball game. 1 out away from getting it done. Orioles with only 1 hit since the 2nd inning, but it may be enough. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and Caleb Joseph will go out to make sure here in the 2-2 with 2 down. Here's the 2-2 delivery on the way, and a swing and a foul ball, just a piece off the end of the bat. Britton almost got it by him, and it will stay at 2-2. Kind of a ball game here today. 2 RBIs Pearce, 1 Snyder, 2 by Jones. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Set up, low and away. Swung on it, fouled off again. Geyer protecting with that.
Yeah. Well, you can see the front shoulder. I mean, he's just keeping it in. He's already been hit by a pitch today because he didn't get out of the way. But it wasn't in 95. But right now, he's just trying to put the ball in play somewhere. And again, he does have a little bit of power.
2-2 delivery coming again to Geyer, and full count. So all 3 hitters here in the bottom of the 9th inning go 3-2. Full count. Geyer battling here. Not a lot of real good swings, but he's had enough to foul off some good pitches. Holds that count at 3-2.
Yeah, that's the first ball we've seen up in the zone.
22nd pitch for Zack Britton. 3-2 delivery again. Fouled off again. Full count delivery, and a swing and a miss, strikes the side out. All of them on 3-2 counts. Britton saves it for the Orioles, who are 2-0 with a 6-5 win.
Well, 23 pitches to get the job done, but again, he had 18 one-run saves out of his 37 saves last year, the toughest to get. But again, early lead. Chen struggles. The bullpen comes in, does a heck of a job. A lot of credit to the Rays crawling back in, but at the end of the day, the Orioles go 2-0.
Victory will go to Kevin Gosman, who came on in relief of Chen. Carnes will take the loss. The starter for the Rays 0-1, and Britton